Chapter 51. The powerful Snorlax, Electivire debuts. Just take its attack and use Freezing Punch. Wang Lu's heart trembled slightly after hearing Mu Yifeng's order. What he worried about finally happened. He had long known that Snorlax's physical defense was relatively low, so as long as he used physical attacks, he should be able to achieve good results. But at the same time, he also knows that Snorlax also has very powerful physical attacks. Snorlax's physical attack power is no less than that of Azumarill. If you rush over and use physical attacks on it, won't it fight back? It definitely will. But there is nothing Wang Lu can do. Snorlax's special defense is too abnormal, and using special attack has no effect at all. So, he could only let Dragonair risk using physical attacks. He could only bet that the Snorlax opposite had no striking surface and could not use Freeze Punch. As a result, people really know how to freeze fist. I saw. Dragonair had a powerful shock wave all over his body and hit Snorlax hard. Ouch! Snorlax couldn't help but roar, and for the first time a rough and ferocious expression appeared on his calm and honest face because of the pain. The violent ice energy gathered, and it punched with its backhand, destroying normal and severely knocked Dragonair away. With a bang, Dragonair fell hard to the ground and passed out completely. Dragonair has lost its ability to fight. Host announced immediately. Boom! The audience was excited again. Dragonair was seconds. But almost no one would think that Wang Lu's Dragonair is weak. After all, it was already very strong when it was still Dratini. Now that we are evolving, we will only become stronger. As for being defeated, it only means that the Snorlax on the opposite side is too scary. Damn it, Mu Yifeng is indeed a player who has advanced to the top 8, he is really awesome. However, even though Dragonair was defeated, the effect of the Dragon Dive is still very effective. You see, Snorlax has begun to pant, and it has very little energy left. It's the top 8, and none of them are weak. Even if they are as strong as Wang Lu, Mirong Shui and Lei Jian, if they want to defeat rival, they will have to go through a hard battle. There is no way they can crush them. Mirong Shui and Lei Jian both used 5 Pokémon to defeat rival. Let's see how many Pokémon Wang Lu will use. Damn it, this is outrageous to say the least. We are already in the top 8, but Wang Lu only revealed 3 Pokémon. This is ridiculous, it is simply outrageous. It's no use. Maybe Wang Lu's remaining 3 Pokémon are all Caterpie. Haha. Do you think it's possible? Silently taking back Dragonair, Wang Lu took out a luxury ball again and threw it. Go, Electivire, prepare to fight. White light flashed. Electivire's tall, powerful and domineering body suddenly appeared on Wang Lu's field. That's Flash Electivire. As Wang Lu sent Electivire on the stage, Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui were shocked. And, that's not even normal Flash. The dark golden skin looks domineering and noble. Oh my god, such a rare Pokémon, doesn't this brat know how to hide his clumsiness? The 2 elders hated Wang Lu and cursed angrily. This is a worry, although Wang Lu, who is far away in the stadium, cannot hear it at all. They are afraid that their baby son will be too arrogant before he has fully grown up, and will eventually be targeted by some insidious hunter groups. On the contrary, Zhao Hongii and Cao Lai, who were standing aside, suddenly had dark expressions on their faces when they heard this. Rare? Flash Electivire rare? Rare indeed. But for Wang Lu, it is already the most common Pokémon. He also owns Zapdos and Celebi. Hunter group? Trouble him? Isn't that a gift? Damn it! Electivire? Electabuzz has also evolved. Flash Electivire, it turned out to have dark golden skin, so handsome. I really want it. I love it, little brother Wang Lu is really amazing, I want to marry him. With the appearance of Electivire, the audience was once again boiling. Even Mu Yifeng was shocked, and immediately became more serious. In his opinion, Wang Lu's Electabuzz is already very strong, and now it has evolved again, so it can only be described as terrible. Not only Mu Yifeng. At the moment, forced by the powerful aura of the Electivire, his Snorlax also showed a visibly apprehensive, even frightened expression. Don't be afraid of Snorlax, use the destructive death light to kill it directly. Mu Yifeng waved his hand. The golden violent energy gathers. Heard the words. Snorlax opened his mouth wide, and suddenly shot out a powerful golden light, smashing the air all the way, and with a destructive momentum, he went straight to the Electivire. So fast! Wang Lu couldn't help being surprised. This Snorlax's destructive death light turned out to be instant. This Snorlax is really strong, and it really deserves to have the orange aptitude. To know. It's better than a big move like destroying the Death Ray. Pokémon with low aptitude, even if it is learned, is quite slow to release. Then there is no need to talk about whether it is instant or not. It doesn't work though. Electivire, use Protect. Following Wang Lu's order, Electivire suddenly stretched out his hands and released a golden shield, easily blocking all the destructive death rays. Go up and use Thunder Punch. Wang Lu waved his hand, and Electivire rushed forward. It's very fast. After evolution, its body became quite huge, but this didn't affect its speed at all. It's still very flexible and very fast. At the same time, the edge of its fist was glowing with thunder, and it swung a fist, viciously blasting towards Snorlax's stomach. For a moment, Snorlax was forced by its powerful momentum, covered in cold sweat, and couldn't help but took half a step back. Snorlax! Mu Yifeng didn't let go of this detail, and was immediately taken aback. In his opinion, his Snorlax is already very talented, very strong, and has a very good mentality, and he rarely feels intimidated by anything. But right now, it was inconceivable that Snorlax should have been intimidated by the Electivire's presence. This Electivire is no ordinary creature. Mu Yifeng thought to himself, shouted at the same time, and issued an order to Snorlax, "Don't be afraid of Snorlax, use Body Slam directly." Heard the words. Snorlax managed to cheer himself up, and seeing that the Electivire was about to pounce, it jumped forward. The huge body, like a hill of normal, ruthlessly pressed towards the Electivire. Call out! However, Electivire's speed was still too fast, and with a flash of figure, it directly avoided Snorlax's body slam attack. Then, the moment Snorlax got up, he raised his hand and sent a thunder punch, directly taking Snorlax away. Chapter 52. Volt Switch. Mitsumiv's Rapidash. Boom! Thunder flashes. The power of the Electivire was still too strong, and Snorlax couldn't bear it, and fell heavily, sending up a cloud of smoke. Snorlax is out of combat. Alright, player Mu Yifeng has already lost 2 Pokémon first. Facing Wang Lu's powerful Electivire, how should he deal with it next? While announcing the result, host asked Mu Yifeng a question. He is the conference host himself, not just a referee, he is also responsible for setting off the atmosphere of the scene. Fortunately, this match itself was very intense, which made the audience excited, so he didn't have to use it too much. Come back Snorlax, you've done well, rest now. While taking back the Snorlax, Mu Yifeng took out another Pokeball, then go, Golem. With a flash of white light, the huge and bulky Golem appeared. Golem. Attribute, Rock plus Ground. Level, 40, Elite. Qualification, Purple. Oh, in the face of the mighty Electivire, player Mu Yifeng actually dispatched the heavyweight Golem. We know that Golem has an overwhelming advantage in terms of attribute. But we also know that Wang Lu's Electivire has terrifying power. So what will happen in the next battle? Please wait and see. It has to be said that the host's warm-up effect was very good, and his words directly made the audience's blood boil. This Golem is quite normal. Glancing at Golem's attribute panel, Wang Lu smiled faintly. If the previous Snorlax was Mu Yifeng's trump card Pokémon, then this Golem is just the main force of normal. Its level and qualifications are completely different from the previous Snorlax. However, it's very Conti Electivire on attribute, which is true, but it doesn't work. Mu Yifeng, attribute restraint doesn't work for me, go on, Electivire, use Brick Break. Following Wang Lu's order, Electivire's right hand lit up with a strong white light, and rushed towards the opposite Golem. Golem, attack with rollout. Facing Wang Lu's attack, Mu Yifeng did not dodge or evade, and directly chose to be tough. Heard the words. Golem immediately retracted his head and limbs into the boulder behind him, then quickly rolled out, and ruthlessly slammed into the charging Electivire. So fast! Many spectators at the scene couldn't help but exclaimed when they saw Golem's actions. Normal. Golems are supposed to be slow, but this Golem, at least when it uses the rollout attack, is very fast. This shows that Mu Yifeng has done targeted training for it. Thinking of this, many audiences at the scene admired Mu Yifeng very much, thinking that Mu Yifeng deserved to be the top 8 freshman. Seeing that the boulder was about to hit, there was no trace of fear in Electivire's eyes. Instead, he grinned and waved his right hand, ready to use brick break to head with the opponent. This reckless. Wang Lu gave a wry smile, and quickly shouted, "Don't hardwire Electivire, use Orberga's tail to jump splash on ground. Steal energy accumulation." For a moment, the normal tails of the 2 detonators of the Electivire suddenly emitted a strong white light, and when they slapped the ground, a powerful shock wave was generated instantly. With a bang, the Electivire followed the power of the shock wave and bounced high. Oh! Seeing what Wang Lu and Electivire were doing, host and many in the audience couldn't help but exclaimed. "Use brick break!" Roll out missed, and Golem couldn't help but turn around. Just when he was about to continue, Wang Lu gave an order. Electivire flashed over in an instant, raised the knife in his hand and knocked Golem to the ground with a brick break move. The levels and qualifications of both parties are very different. Not to mention, brick break is a fighting skill, attribute counter Golem, with outstanding effects. Golem loses the ability to fight. When host announced the results, he also exclaimed, "Oh, Wang Lu's Electivire is so strong, so surprising." He defeated Golem with just one move. Dragon-slaying warriors Azumarill, Snorlax, and Golem. Player Mu Yifeng has now lost 3 Pokémon. What should he do in the face of Wang Lu's strong Electivire? Host fanned the flames and the scene became excited again. Because it is just a freshman competition, not a sacred and solemn conference, there is no intermission. After a moment of silence, Mu Yifeng took back Golem and sent out the 4th Pokémon. "Please, come on, Rapidash." With a flash of white light, the tall Rapidash suddenly appeared on Mu Yifeng's field. Rapidash. Attribute, Fire. Level, 48, Elite. Qualification, Orange. Glancing at Rapidash's attribute panel, Wang Lu smiled slightly. This Rapidash is obviously another trump card from Mu Yifeng, and it is no less impressive than Snorlax. As for the last Golem, apart from attribute Conti Electivire, other aspects are not worth mentioning at all. Electivire, use Volt Switch. Wang Lu took the lead and gave the order. Heard the words. Electivire released a bolt of lightning and struck Rapidash, causing Rapidash to howl in pain. At the same time, Electivire transformed into a red light and automatically returned to the luxury ball. At the same time, it also summoned another companion. Wu. Along with a melodious song, Mitsumi appeared. Volt Switch, return quickly after attacking and replace with the backup Pokémon. Oh, it's the Volt Switch. While causing damage to enemy Pokémon, it also uses Milotic, which has a more powerful attribute. Player Wang Lu's operation is really wonderful. At this time, being electrocuted by Electivire, Rapidash was injured all over his body and lost at least half of his physical strength. But its contest condition is still very good and its fighting spirit is high. It can only be said that it is a trump card Pokémon. You can tell at a glance that it is an excellent breeder by Mu Yifeng. It's a pity that the strength gap between the two sides is too big. Not to mention, facing Mitsumi, Rapidash is still at a huge disadvantage in attribute. Rush. Rapidash, use Flare Blitz. Mu Yifeng gave the order. Boom. I saw Rapidash's whole body suddenly burst into flames. The flames shot up to a height of more than 1 foot, burning the air, and the power was quite terrifying. Rapidash carried this terrifying momentum and headed towards Mitsumi takedown. Chapter 53, Fracture appears and everyone is shocked. Don't be afraid of Mitsumi, use Hydro Pump to attack. Wang Lu ordered. Of course Mitsumi is not afraid. Heard the words. He immediately opened his mouth and spit out a high-pressure hydro pump, which collided head-on with the flames. After a stalemate for a second, the blazing flames were instantly extinguished. Ouch! And Rapidash also screamed, and his whole body flew out like a kite with broken strings. Normal then fell heavily to the ground and passed out completely. Oh! Milotic is such a powerful hydro pump! Host shouted. Ah, this! Seeing Mitsumi instantly kill Rapidash with one move, Wang Hongguang and Tianhui were shocked, surprised and helpless at the same time. At the same time, they looked at Wang Lu in the field and started to grit their teeth. This kid has never suffered anything before. He is so powerful that he doesn't know how to hide his clumsiness. Exposing Flash Electivire is already a crime. But now, even Flash Milotic. At this time, Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui felt very uneasy. To know. Even though they are both Flash, the value of Flash Milotic far exceeds that of Flash Electivire. Because Milotic itself is rare, powerful, beautiful, and valuable. On this basis, if it is Flash Milotic, its value will skyrocket exponentially. Although Wang Lu's Flash Electivire is very unique, with dark golden skin. But its value is still not comparable to Flash Milotic. Even with their social status and vision, it is impossible to estimate the value of Flash Milotic. There is only one word to describe it: priceless. At this time, Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui have decided that when the game is over, they will beat Wang Lu. Otherwise, this kid doesn't know how high the sky is and how high it is. If this continues, he will definitely be targeted by some criminals or a group of hunters. Lose 4 Pokémon in a row. At this time, Mu Yifeng was sweating profusely and stressed. Actually, before the start of this game, Mu Yifeng was full of confidence. He even wants to defeat Wang Lu and become a new generation of male god and idol in the hearts of the girls in the academy. But now he realizes that he thinks too highly of himself. At the same time, he underestimated Wang Lu too much. Now in his opinion, Wang Lu is too powerful, almost like the god of war normal. Now, he has completely corrected his mentality. What he was thinking about was no longer how to defeat Wang Lu, because this was simply impossible. He now only has the last 2 Pokémon left to use, and in this case, he just wants to defeat Wang Lu with one more Pokémon. Yes, whether it's Milotic or Electivire, just defeat one more. Go, Electivire! Mu Yifeng finally sent out his 5th Pokémon. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be an Electivire too. Certainly. His Electivire is not a shiny Pokémon, and its stature is far less tall and strong than Wang Lu's. Even so, his Electivire is also very good, with cal color and bright eyes. At first glance, he is a very good breeder. Oh? Do you have an Electivire too? That's interesting. Wang Lu laughed, took back Mitsumi, and glanced at Electivire's attribute panel. Electivire. Attribute, electricity. Level 46, Elite. Qualification, Orange. Oh? Facing the Electivire sent by Mu Yifeng, Wang Lu actually took back Milotic. Could it be that he also wants to send an Electivire to confront Mu Yifeng head-on? Host couldn't help but exclaimed. However, Wang Lu did not send out Electivire, but sent out Fracture. Last night, Wang Lu has newly tamed 2 Pokémon, Salamence and Fracture. Compared with the mighty Salamence, Fracture obviously still needs exercise and growth. At the moment, it is a good opportunity. Mu Yifeng's strength is not very strong, but he is definitely not weak, so Wang Lu plans to send Fracture out to practice his skills first. Ah! As soon as Fracture came on stage, he couldn't help but roar. This kid, it was his first time to appear on the stage, facing tens of thousands of spectators. He was not stage frightened at all, on the contrary, he felt a little excited. Such a mentality is very good. However, compared with the lively and imposing Fracture, the host and many audience members couldn't help being a little stunned. What? Shiny Pokémon, it's shiny Pokémon again. Could it be that apart from Dragonair, all player Wang Lu owns are shiny Pokémon? Host looked horrified and shouted loudly, which made the audience erupt. I lost, it was Flash again. Wang Lu, is this guy still human? All shiny Pokémon, it's outrageous. Paralyzed, the only Pokémon that isn't Flash, it's also a mega rare Pokémon like Dragonair. Really, it's too bad, I'm convinced. Who said before that the remaining 3 of Wang Lu belonged to Caterpie? Stand up and die. Caterpie? Impossible. I guess he has 2 left, and they're all shiny Pokémon. This is his grandma's, it's a Flash trainer. Ah, little brother Wang Lu, I love you so much. The scene was boiling. Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui were also speechless. Well, this kid is here again, he doesn't know how to hide clumsiness at all. In the whole scene, it is estimated that Zhao Hongii and Cao Lai were relatively calm. After all, they are used to. In their view, Wang Lu can even tame Zapdos and Celebi, so how difficult is it to tame a few shiny Pokémon? TCH, what a lucky guy! In the corner of the auditorium, Lei Jian's expression gradually turned ugly. To know. In this world, shiny Pokémon is not only a symbol of rarity, but also a symbol of strength and potential. Even if it is a Flash Butterfree, a Flash Beedrill, it is definitely not weak. True. Whether it's Dragonair or Flash Fracture, his Thunder Sword can ignore it. But what if it evolved? If it's Dragonite, what if it's Flash Haxorus? Student Wang Lu, how many surprises do you want to bring me? Staring at Wang Lu and Fracture on the field, Murong Shue's eyes lit up, and the corners of her mouth curled up unconsciously. Murong Shue has been gifted with outstanding talent since she was a child, and she has come a long way in Tailwind. Among her peers, she is rarely a rival. Now, Wang Lu has popped up. While this brought pressure to Murong Shue, it also brought challenges. Generally speaking, Murong Shue was very happy in her heart. She can't wait to fight Wang Lu. And she believes that the final winner will be her. Chapter 54. Evolution, Golden Haxorus. The entire arena was full of dragon energy. This is exactly the power of Yulong released by Wang Lu. And feeling this powerful dragon energy, Fracture is full of fighting spirit, and his strength and momentum are also rising steadily. What a powerful aura, I never thought that Fracture can also have such a powerful aura. My Electivire isn't bad, though. Mu Yifeng's heart trembled, and he shouted towards the Electivire, "Go, Electivire, use thunder!" Boom! Following Mu Yifeng's order, Electivire immediately released a huge thunderbolt, smashing the air all the way, and approaching Fracture on the opposite side. On the opposite side of Mu Yifeng's attack, Wang Lu didn't dodge, and directly took it. Fracture, use the Dragon Wave to meet it. Ah! Fracture also opened his mouth wide, spit out a wave in the shape of a dragon, and rushed out with teeth and claws. Boom! The two powerful energies collided, directly producing a huge explosion, and the smoke and dust rose 10 feet high. What? Mu Yifeng was taken aback. Can Fracture's Dragon Wave be so strong? He doesn't know. Wang Lu's Fracture is very talented, even though it's just a fracture, he still has the orange talent. Coupled with the blessing of Wang Lu's dragon power and the dragon tooth carried by Fracture himself, Fracture's dragon skills are very powerful. It's not surprising that Thunder is tough right now. Fracture, Sword Dance. Dragon Claw. The smoke and dust filled the air and hadn't dissipated yet, but Wang Lu ordered directly. Good. While releasing the power of Yulong, Wang Lu also released the power of Waveguide, forming a waveguide magnetic field on the entire arena. Under the contest condition, which is connected with Wang Lu, Fracture can also directly lock on the position of Electivire opposite to lock on through the waveguide magnetic field. Whether it is smoke, mist, haze, poisonous fog, or clone, substitute, all have no effect. It's all just a blindfold. Under the waveguide, there will be nothing to hide. It's certainly not cheating. Wang Lu has the power of a waveguide and the power of controlling a dragon, which is the best proof that he is a super trainer. Boom! In the smoke, there was another explosion. But apart from Wang Lu, no one knows what happened inside. If other people want to know, they must have the power of waveguide like Wang Lu. When the smoke clears, I saw that Fracture stepped on the fainted Electivire, and Snarl got up. Chi! Amidst the fiery roar, a dazzling white light suddenly flashed on Fracture's body. And in that white light, Fracture's body swelled rapidly. Clearly, it's starting to evolve. When the light dissipated, a golden-skinned Haxorus appeared on the scene. Ho! Haxorus' voice was low and he roared excitedly. There's both the excitement of beating rival in front of a huge crowd, and the excitement of evolving. For a time, exciting. What? What happened? Wang Lu's Fracture actually evolved after defeating rival. Haxorus, Golden Haxorus. How powerful! Agitated, host couldn't help shouting, making the scene boil again. Haxorus and Electivire by Wang Lu. One has golden skin all over the body, and the other has dark golden skin all over the body, but they are both domineering and imposing, which fascinates countless audiences. Depend on. In the corner of the auditorium, Lei Jian gritted his teeth and couldn't help cursing. What he was still worried about before, did not expect that it would happen so soon. Flash Fracture, he might be able to ignore it. But today's Flash Haxorus is completely different, the strength has been improved by at least several levels. Ding, congratulations, Fracture has evolved into Haxorus. Ding, Haxorus has learned a new skill, Close Combat. As the system notification sounded in his ear, Wang Lu couldn't help but smile on his face. He didn't expect Fracture, which just evolved last night, evolved again so quickly. It seems that this guy is really aggressive, and it is estimated that he has laid a solid foundation as early as the Axu period. Now that the level is reached, coupled with some external stimuli, it will naturally evolve. Haxorus. Attribute, Dragon. Level 48, Elite. Qualification, Light Gold. Physical attack skills, Bite, Crunch, Slash, Dragon Claw, Outrage, Close Combat. Special attack skill, Dragon Wave. Change skills, Taunt, Grimace, Laser Focus, Sword Dance. Glancing at Haxorus attribute panel, Wang Lu grinned. There is no doubt that this is another fierce player. Especially after it evolved, it also learned the ultimate fighting move, Close Combat. To know. Dragon-type skills will hurt everyone, except Steel-type and Fairy. The attribute is suppressed, and if you fight the Steel-type Pokémon, it will only have half the power. As for the Fairy, it will be directly immune. Fighting restrains the Steel-type, doubles the damage, and the effect is outstanding. With the explosive physical attack power of Haxorus, using Close Combat, it is absolutely easy to fight Steel-type. Then, when Wang Lu played Pokémon games, he gave Haxorus these 4 skills, Sword Dance, Dragon Claw, Close Combat, and Outrage. No other bells and whistles are needed at all. Anyway, once Sword Dance is turned on, it's just seconds. But games are games after all. In the game, any Pokémon has only 4 skill slots, and it is impossible to master 5 skills at the same time. When a Pokémon has mastered 4 skills and learns new skills, it must first forget one skill before mastering the new one. The real world where Wang Lu lives is completely different. Every Pokémon can master many skills. Wang Lu intends to match Haxorus with an Iron Tail. The Iron Tail of the Steel system is very restrained to Fairy, with twice the damage, the effect is outstanding. After that it's easy, use Close Combat for Steel and Iron Tail for Fairy. As for the others, all greeted with Dragon Claw. To know. Wang Lu really likes Haxorus. If there is no system, he will definitely subdue a Haxorus and cultivate it as the strongest trump card. It's a pity that he has a system and a beast. In the future, I don't know how many beasts will be caught. Rao is that what he has now is Flash Haxorus, in the future, it is destined to be eclipsed by a large number of mythical beasts. Then Wang Lu can only use Haxorus more now, and regard Haxorus as a pioneer and model worker. Chapter 55. Win and advance to the semi-finals. Damn, after evolution, its aura has become stronger. Staring at Haxorus, Mu Yifeng's eyes flashed with deep fear. With the Electivire down, he has lost 5 Pokémon. As for Wang Lu, although 4 Pokémon have been dispatched, only Dragonair has lost the ability to fight. The gap between the two sides is not small. It's up to you in the end, go, Blastoise. Mu Yifeng dispatched the last Pokémon. At the same time, this is also his strongest trump card. Blastoise. Attribute, Water. Level 52, Elite. Qualification, Orange. Kami. After Blastoise appeared on the stage, she yelled loudly, her eyes fixed on Haxorus on the opposite side, and a strong fighting intent flashed in her eyes. Although its aura is not as powerful and fierce as Haxorus, it should not be underestimated. Kill it in one go, Haxorus, use Dragon Claw. Wang Lu ordered. The violent dragon energy gathers. I saw Haxorus moving, white light flashed above the Dragon Claw, and rushed towards Blastoise. So fast. Seeing that Haxorus had already rushed in front of Blastoise after a few flashes, Mu Yifeng was taken aback and said, Blastoise, quickly withdraw, use Iron Defense. With a whoosh, Blastoise shrank instantly and used Iron Defense. You know, these are 2 skills. Shrinking Shell, withdraw, Physical Defense +1. Iron Defense, make the skin hard as iron, Physical Defense +2. For a moment, Blastoise increased the physical defense by 3 levels, and in a short period of time, its physical defense almost doubled. What is the concept of doubling? To know. Blastoise itself has a very high physical defense, now doubled, it is almost indestructible. That is Haxorus. For other Pokémon, I believe it is difficult to break through its defense. Boom! I saw Haxorus rushing over, and the powerful Dragon Claw hit Blastoise's turtle shell heavily. Ember splattered, but only left a faint trace on it. Blastoise inside the turtle shell, nothing happened at all. At this time, even if Blastoise was damaged, it must have been fairly minor. Interesting. Looking at the situation in front of him, Wang Lu raised his eyebrows and said, in this case, Haxorus first uses Sword Dance to increase his strength, and then uses Dragon Claw consecutively. As soon as Wang Lu finished speaking, Haxorus spun around rapidly. When it stood firmly, a golden light rose from under its feet. At the same time, its strength and aura are also rising steadily. Dragon Claw. Next, I saw Haxorus using Dragon Claw continuously, hitting Blastoise's turtle shell hard again and again. Sparks fly. I saw. Every Dragon Claw of Haxorus can leave a very deep mark on Blastoise's turtle shell. As these attacks accumulate. At this moment, Blastoise's tortoise shell has gradually cracked, and Blastoise couldn't help screaming in the tortoise shell. At the same time, the defensive power of its turtle shell has also dropped significantly. What? Haxorus is so powerful. Is it trying to penetrate the rhythm of the turtle's shell? Host shouted excitedly. Mu Yifeng was also extremely anxious. He never expected that after evolution, Haxorus' power would be so powerful. Quick, Blastoise use the hydro pump. Following Mu Yifeng's order, 2 hydro pumps rushed out. Haxorus reacted extremely quickly, and quickly crossed his claws to block. Even so, it was still repelled by the powerful hydro pump, and the solace of its feet plowed 2 long furrows on the ground. Use longbow now. Mu Yifeng ordered. As soon as the words fell, Blastoise stood up immediately, opened his mouth and spit out a wave in the shape of a dragon, and rushed towards Haxorus with his teeth and claws. Bang, a perfect hit. Dragon kills dragon, the effect is outstanding. Haxorus fell down and lost the ability to fight. Dragon Wave. Player Mu Yifeng's Blastoise can actually use Dragon Wave. This is really surprising. Host exclaimed. Come back, Haxorus, you've done well. Wang Lu silently took Haxorus back. Haxorus has stronger attack power and destructive power than a quasi-god, and its speed is also very good. But in terms of overall strength, it's still not as good as quasi-god. Each of the quasi-gods has considerable frankness, which Haxorus cannot match. To put it simply, it is a bit brittle. It is easy to kill people instantly, but it is also easy to be killed by others. Because it is brittle, it is difficult to stand still and continue fighting. While it is easy to achieve high gloss performance, it is also easy to die suddenly. Certainly. Wang Lu's Haxorus is a shiny Pokémon. Its bloodline, strength and defense should be far superior to other Haxorus. That is, if normal's Haxorus is very brittle, then Wang Lu's Haxorus should not be very brittle. If it weren't for the Dragon Wave, Haxorus probably wouldn't have been killed. This also shows from the side that Mu Yifeng is really strong. Come to battle, Electivire. Blastoise defeated Haxorus though. But right now, it is also scarred and severely lacking in physical strength. Wang Lu directly sent out Electivire, and soon killed Blastoise and won the game. Blastoise loses the ability to fight. Okay, let us congratulate player Wang Lu for successfully advancing to the semi-finals. As soon as host finished speaking, the audience was filled with excitement. Wang Lu is awesome. Using only 4 Pokémon, he actually advanced to the top 4. What's even more frightening is that although he used 4 of them, he actually only lost 2 of them. Electivire and Milotic still retain a lot of physical strength. I feel that they are still at their peak. Contest condition, this is outrageous. Damn, Wang Lu is so awesome. I feel that his suppression is too strong. Mirong Shui and Leijian don't have this feeling. Yes, my husband will definitely win. The goal is to be first in the freshman competition and rush to the duck. 666. Wang Lu's Mu Yifeng is the 3rd game of the quarter-finals. Next, there is another game. As for the final semi-finals, 3rd place match, and finals, they will be held in the afternoon. After all, players also need to rest and adjust after intense competition. As for this freshman competition, it still doesn't have much value. For those real competitions, such as the National Alliance Conference and the World Alliance Conference, there are usually 1 or 2 months of consecutive competitions, and the rest time and adjustment time for the players are absolutely enough. Wang Lu, Mirong Shui and Lei Jian have all successfully advanced to the top 4. The standard of the next game was not high, so Wang Lu was not ready to watch it. He intends to take advantage of this time to resurrect Aerodactyl. He can't wait to see the appearance of the ancient pterosaur. Then there is. Currently, there are 7 Pokémon under Wang Lu's command. Zapdos, Salamence, Celebi, Mitsumi, Electivire, Haxorus, Dragonair. Leaving Zapdos and Celebi aside, Wang Lu actually only has 5 Pokémon. Although Wang Lu didn't think that Mirong Shui or Lei Jian could defeat his own Salamence. After all, Wang Lu's Salamence has a bloodline strength comparable to that of a divine beast, and is a level 70 golden legend. With the blessing of his own dragon-controlling power, Wang Lu feels that it is no problem at all to play an 80-level elite. The point is, do Mirong Shui and Lei Jian have level 80 elites? Wang Lu probably doesn't. After all, he is as strong as Mirong Bai, and his trump card Dragonite is only level 81. But just to be on the safe side, it's better to revive Aerodactyl first, and it will be more stable to have 6 Pokémon in the competition. Chapter 56. Resurrection, Flash Aerodactyl. Wang Lu, you really don't know how to hide your clumsiness. In the auditorium, just after Wang Lu came back, he was held tightly by Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui. The second elder just wanted to beat him and educate him, but in the end, he directly pulled out the ancient fossils. The eyes of Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui were immediately attracted by the ancient fossils. Is this old ember? It doesn't seem to be, it's obviously much higher quality. Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui are indeed Pokémon professors. Without using any instruments, just a pair of naked eyes can see the extraordinariness of this primordial fossil. If old ember is used, Aerodactyl can be revived. And this ancient fossil was produced by the system. Although the system has clearly stated that this primordial fossil will also resurrect Aerodactyl, but Wang Lu feels that it is definitely not normal Aerodactyl. Mom and Dad, there should be a fossil resurrection machine in your laboratory, right? Wang Lu asked directly. Heard the words. Wang Hongguang gave him a blank look and said, what do you want to do? Do you want to revive the Pokémon inside? Do you know how precious this thing is? It is likely to be a new fossil Pokémon species that we have never found in 04. Shouldn't such precious and rare fossils be studied and recorded first? However, Wang Lu shook his head, and said decisively, impossible, although it is a bit special, it is the fossil of Aerodactyl. How do you know? Wang Hongguang rolled his eyes when he heard the words, not believing it at all. When I found it in the ruins, at that time, there were a lot of Aerodactyl guarding it. Wang Lu didn't want to expose the existence of the system, so he just talked nonsense. Anyway, in this world, there are too many secret places and ruins to count. He was talking nonsense, and his parents definitely didn't know which relic he was talking about. Sure enough, the parents believed it a little bit. As for Zhao Hongii and Cao Lai, they are even more convinced. If Wang Lu hadn't explored secret lands and ancient ruins, how could he have collected so many rare Pokémon? Why, are you resurrecting Aerodactyl to increase your combat power? Wang Hongguang asked again. Wang Lu nodded perfunctorily, almost. Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui looked at each other, and finally nodded in agreement. After all, they also hope that their precious son can get a better ranking in this freshman competition. They are parents, and what their son needs at this critical moment, they will naturally find a way to meet it. But, boy, let me warn you that Aerodactyl is a very ferocious Pokémon. And resurrection does not mean subjugation. At that time, you may not be able to subdue it, you have to think about it yourself. After saying hello to Zhao Hongii and Cao Lai, Wang Lu's family left temporarily and went to the laboratory. On the way, Wang Hongguang did not forget to remind Wang Lu. Dad, don't worry. Wang Lu Salation smiled. Seeing Wang Lu so confident and sure, Wang Hongguang didn't say much. After all, Through this quarter-final match, he also basically saw the strength of his son, which is indeed very strong. There should be no big problem in subduing a newly revived Aerodactyl. After about half an hour, the Wang Lu family got out of the car and arrived at Tianhu Laboratory. This Tianhu Laboratory is a laboratory opened by Wang Lu himself. Both parents are professors, and some scholars are invited to do research related to Pokémon every day. But all along, parents have not made much achievement. A lot of academic papers have been published, but most of them have mediocre responses. After all, the world is too big. Pokémon professors like Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui may not be seen everywhere, but there are quite a few of them. Among them, there are too few, and only a handful of existences that are truly as powerful as the original Professor Oak and can be called the existence of Taishan Baidu in the academic world. This world is also very real. There is no free lunch in the world. If you want to become famous, you have to make achievements first. Whether it is a trainer or a researcher, it is the same. No grades, that's fart, and it's useless to brag about the sky. At that time, I will give the two elders a study of the ancient pterosaur. Wang Lu thought to himself. In this world, since Wang Lu is so awesome, then naturally find a way to help 10 parents. The ancient pterosaur is definitely a new species, the only one in the world. Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui did some research, and if they really want to publish a paper, they don't have to even think about it. It will definitely shock the entire academic circle, and even directly shock the world, and become famous. Putting the ancient fossil carefully into the fossil resurrection machine, Wang Hongguang directly pressed the switch. With a flash of dazzling white light, the sleeping genes in the ancient fossils finally woke up. Xiahuo! Roar! Sure enough, it was Aerodactyl. As soon as he woke up, he raised his head to the sky and roared, bursting out with an astonishing momentum. But Normal's Aerodactyl has grey skin, but the Aerodactyl in front of him actually has black skin. Shiny Pokémon! It's shiny Pokémon again! Aerodactyl. Attribute, Flying plus Rock. Level 50, Elite. Qualification, Light Gold. Physical attack skills, Bite, Wing Attack 917, Iron Head, Takedown, Stone Edge. Special attack skills, Ancient Power, Destroy Death Ray. Change skills, Supersonic, Grimace, Roar, Agility. Quick, Sun Smash, make a quick decision, quickly subdue it. At this time, Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui were not in the mood to care about whether it was Flash or not. After all, Aerodactyl is fierce. Even if he is resurrected by humans, he will never appreciate it. In their view, if Wang Lu's movements were a little slower, at least half of the laboratory would be destroyed. However, faced with the anxious urging of his parents, Wang Lu did not send Pokémon to fight Aerodactyl, but directly stretched out his hand to Aerodactyl to release the power of dragon control. In fact, Aerodactyl is not a dragon Pokémon. What Wang Lu did was just an attempt. Unexpectedly, it was still successful. I saw that under the washing of Wang Lu's power of Yulong, the violent Aerodactyl instantly became quiet. It even got down on its knees facing Wang Lu, with a surrendered look on its face. Ah, this is... Looking at the scene in front of them, Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui were stunned, and looked at Wang Lu as if they had seen a ghost. They never expected that their son Zhe would be so awesome. He stretched out his hand casually, and unexpectedly directly surrendered the ferocious Aerodactyl. Chapter 57, Primordial Pterosaur. This is the power of dragon control. Seeing the shocked look of his parents, Wang Lu was a little amused, and said, I also got it by accident in the ruins, and through this skill, I can easily tame the dragon Pokémon. Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui looked at each other, both surprised and happy. Turn out to be. Their precious son not only has the talent of heaven-defying level, but also his luck is unparalleled. The power of dragon control? Can you easily tame dragon Pokémon? Oh my god, this ability is so awesome. At this time, Wang Hongguang looked at Wang Lu, feeling a little jealous. His grandma, if he had the power to control dragons when he was young, how stupid would he be? Pokémon professor? Whoever loves to be whoever is. Damn, as long as you have the power to control dragons, you are at least a dragon elite. Huh? Etc. Wang Hongguang was suddenly startled. The power of dragon control? Can you easily tame dragon Pokémon? However, if I remember correctly, Aerodactyl is not a dragon Pokémon at all, it should be flying plus rock attribute. The husband and wife bonded, and before Wang Hongguang could speak, Tian Hui asked, "Son, isn't Aerodactyl and flying plus rock attribute? Why does your dragon power have an effect?" Heard the words. Wang Lu smiled mysteriously, and asked back, "Mom and Dad, what do you think Aerodactyl would have been like billions of years ago?" This. Tian Hui was stunned and speechless. She belongs to the cautious group and dare not talk nonsense. But Wang Hongguang said affirmatively, "Dragon. A real pterosaur. It must have taken a considerable amount of time before they finally became fossils, and there is no reason why they were fossils in the first place." Wang Hongguang seemed to be caught in a memory, and said, "Once upon a time, some of my classmates published papers, and they said that the appearance of Aerodactyl Mega Evolution is the real appearance of Aerodactyl hundreds of millions of years ago. I scoff at this. Because Mega Aerodactyl is still flying plus rock attribute, its body is still a fossil structure, and it can never be what Aerodactyl really looked like hundreds of millions of years ago." For Wang Hongguang's words, Wang Lu also agrees very much. He and his father's point of view are almost exactly the same. "Dad, I think exactly as you do, and now let's take that point a step further. Since Aerodactyl was once a dragon, even now, its body should still contain the dragon's genes. Because of this, my dragon power will have an effect on it." Wang Lu kept saying that the logic was very rigorous, which made Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui nod again and again, admiring Wang Lu and full of praise. They never know. Wang Lu is so good and has such profound knowledge. Based on this alone, Wang Lu may not be able to become a Pokémon professor, but it is not a problem at all to be a senior researcher. It's a pity, even though both of us, father and son, think that Aerodactyl was once a dragon, no one will believe us when we say it. Because we don't have the evidence, there's no way we can restore Aerodactyl to what it really is. Wang Hongguang said with a melancholy face. That's not necessarily. Wang Lu smiled slightly and took out the 1000-year Dragon Ball directly. "This is the 1000-year Dragon Ball, which I got at the Dragon Ruins. Through the power of dragon control, I can clearly feel that this Dragon Ball contains extremely pure dragon energy Emperor. If dragon-type Pokémon is taken, I believe that it will be able to cut off its hair and cleanse its marrow, reborn, and fundamentally improve its qualifications and potential. If Aerodactyl is taken, it may be able to completely activate its dragon genes and restore its true appearance." Wang Lu directly copied the system introduction and then repeated it to his parents. As a result, Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui were stunned and shocked. 0. At this time, Aerodactyl also looked at the Millennium Dragon Ball. His eyes were very covet. Wang Lu smiled slightly and threw the Millennium Dragon Ball into Aerodactyl's mouth without hesitation. "Gulu. Just take a sip of Aerodactyl and swallow, and instantly your whole body will be radiant." In that dazzling light, Aerodactyl's form gradually changed. When the light fades away, a brand new Pokémon suddenly appeared in front of Wang Lu and Wang Hongguang. "God, oh my god!" Looking at this brand new Pokémon, Wang Lu's parents were all stunned. Compared with Aerodactyl, its wings are obviously larger, which means that it has a speed far exceeding Aerodactyl. Its teeth and claws have become sharper, which means it has physical attack power that far exceeds Aerodactyl. But most importantly, its body was covered with patches of pitch-black dragon scales. This is a real dragon scale, completely different from the previous fossil structure, and its defense will definitely be upgraded by more than one level. Prime Dragon. Attribute, Dragon plus Flying. Level 50, Elite. Qualification, Gold. Physical attack skills, Bite, Wing Attack, Stone Edge, Dragon Claw, Dragon God Dive. Special attack skills, Ancient Power, Destroy Death Light, Dragon Breath, Dragon Wave. Change skills, Supersonic, Grimace, Roar, Agility, Dragon Dance. Sure enough, it's a dragon Pokémon. Glancing at the attribute panel of the primordial pterosaur, Tian Lu's heart skipped a beat. This is another golden legend. The strength of the bloodline is comparable to that of a divine beast. With this evolution, or the return to primal, the ancient pterosaurs forgot several skills, and at the same time directly comprehended a large number of dragon skills. Dragon. It really is a dragon. This is a dragon scale, definitely not a fossil structure. After some close observation, Wang Hongguang was completely excited, and his conjecture was indeed quite complicated. Aerodactyl used to be a pterosaur. Boy, this guy is definitely a new breed, a new Pokémon. Wang Hongguang said excitedly, and you are its creator, so you can give it a new name. Then call it the primordial pterosaur. Wang Lu said pretendingly. Chapter 58. Daughter of Elite? I'll still torture her later. Ancient pterosaur. Wang Hongguang pondered the name over and over again for a moment, and his eyes suddenly brightened. Pterosaur. Pterosaurs from ancient times. That's why it's called Archaeopteryx. Good name. What a name. At this time, Wang Hongguang looked at Wang Lu with eyes that were not only pleased, but filled with pride. After all, such an outstanding young man is his son Wang Hongguang. Wang Lu's mother Tianhui also secretly wiped away tears at this time, tears of happiness. The two of them seemed to have a premonition that their son would have an unlimited future. As parents, they are not only happy but also proud. Mom and Dad, when the time comes, it's up to you to publish academic papers and inform the world of the existence of archaic pterosaurs. Wang Lu looked at his parents and smiled. If you want to prove the existence of Archaeopteron and whether it is a dragon-type Pokémon, you can't just take a few photos. Instead, it requires a lot of research and a lot of data support. Wang Lu was obviously not good at this kind of thing, so he left it directly to his parents. Certainly. Wang Lu had actually been ready to give this opportunity to his parents for a long time. After all, these were his parents, the closest and dearest people to him. But Wang Hongguang and Tianhui looked at Wang Lu, but stopped talking. Studying the new varieties that have just come out is what they 723 dream of. But if you really do research, publish a paper, and prove to the world the existence of archaic pterosaurs, you will definitely shock the world. By the time, as the owner of the ancient pterosaur, Wang Lu will definitely cause endless troubles and even disasters. Don't worry, Mom and Dad. Of course Wang Lu knew his parents' concerns, so he said directly, you always say that I don't know how to hide my clumsiness. In fact, my strength far exceeds your imagination. With that said, Wang Lu took out the insulation balls and forest balls and released Zapdos and Celebi. It's not that I'm showing off, it's just to make my parents feel confident. 2 or 3 seconds later, Wang Lu took Zapdos and Celebi back again. Wang Hongguang and Tianhui were already stunned. Oh my god! Zapdos! Celebi! They never imagined that their son would actually own the legendary Pokémon. And there is actually more than one. No wonder he showed off Flash Milotic, Flash Electivire, Flash Haxorus. It turns out that it was just his ordinary Pokémon. After seeing Wang Lu's true strength, Wang Hongguang and Tianhui no longer postponed. After all, they also want to make achievements in academia and have a good time. As long as they publish a paper that can prove the existence of archaic pterosaurs, they will definitely become famous in the academic world. Zapdos, Electric Plus Flying, Golden Legend, Level 92, Champion. Salamence, Dragon Plus Flying, Golden Legend, Level 70, Quasi-Elite. Celebi, Super Plus Grass, Golden Legend, Level 55, Elite. Ancient Winged Dragon, Dragon Plus Flying, Golden Legend, Level 50, Elite. Electivire, Electricity, Golden Epic, Level 64, Library Owner. Milotic, Water, Golden Epic, Level 62, Hall Owner. Haxorus, Dragon, Golden Epic, Level 48, Elite. Dragonair, Dragon, Orange Chosen, Level 58, Elite. After using the luxury ball to conquer the archaic pterosaur, Wang Lu's pet lineup became more powerful and more contest. Now, even leaving aside the two mythical beasts Zapdos and Celebi, he still has 6 Pokémon. Mealtime. While Wang Lu was dining out with his parents, Cao Li called and said that the top 4 spots had been determined. Moreover, the order of the next semi-finals has also been determined. The first game, Murong Shui vs Ma Teng. In the second game, Wang Lu's Thunder Sword. As for Ma Teng, although he successfully advanced to the semi-finals, he is not weak. But if compared with Murong Shui, there is indeed a big gap. Then the first game. Murong Shui won and advanced directly to the finals, which was almost a sure thing. Ease. But the second game. Wang Lu and Lei Jian, they are both mega powerhouses, and their strong showdown has made countless audiences look forward to it. Oh, Mirong Shue's multi-dragon Barto, its special move is so powerful. It actually defeated Ma Teng's Mighty Ina with just one move. Now, Ma Teng finally has the last Pokémon left. Who will he send to fight? As soon as host finished speaking, the audience was completely excited. After all, Mirong Shue's popularity is also very high, she has a lot of supporters and fans, even compared to Wang Lu, she is not far behind. To know, Wang Lu has a large number of shiny Pokémon, which has deepened his popularity. On her own, Mirong Shui is as good as Wang Lu, which shows how awesome she is. Son, look at that Mirong Shui, how beautiful, she is said to be the daughter of elite. In the auditorium, Wang Ma Tianhui bumped into Wang Lu's arm, hinting frantically. No way. The fourth generation of their old Wang family is a single family. After many efforts, Wang Hongguang and Tianhui still only have a baneful bunker son like Wang Lu. Then the important task of spreading the branches and leaves for the old Wang's family naturally fell on Wang Lu's head. Seeing that her son is not young anymore, but he has never had a girlfriend, Tianhui, a mother, feels that she needs to listen more. Otherwise, that kid wouldn't take it seriously at all. Certainly. If you change to do before. Even if Wang Lu and Mirong Shui get together, she probably won't be happy, she is afraid that her son will be wronged. After all, Mirong Shui was too dazzling. Whether it is appearance, family background, figure, strength, all are impeccable and too perfect. Especially the family background, the daughter of elite, this aura is too dazzling. Ordinary people, even if they become Mirong Shui's boyfriend, even if they are deeply admired by Mirong Shui, they probably won't be happy. Because people can compare, when gossip blows, which man can stand it? But now it's different. Tianhui is well aware of the strength and potential of her baby smash. Daughter of elite? Worthy, totally worthy, more than enough. Hehe, what happened to elite's daughter? I will abuse her later. Wang Lu smiled proudly. Tianhui and Zhao Hong'ai, two women, one older and one younger, were immediately amused by Wang Lu's straight man's speech. Well said, bastard. We men should pursue our dreams bravely. Woman? Hehe, it will only get in the way. Oh, what are you pinching me for? Wang Hongguang watched Wang Lu very much and couldn't help but praise him. It's a pity that Tianhui cut him off before he finished speaking. Chapter 59, Mirong Shui's strength appears. Doran Barto. It's so strong. Successive failures put Ma Teng under great pressure. He took a deep breath, regained his composure, and finally sent out his last Pokémon. With a flash of white light, a huge Nidoking appeared on Ma Teng's arena. Nidoking. Attribute, Ground plus Poison. Level, 54, Elite. Qualification, Orange. Obviously. This Nidoking is Ma Teng's last trump card and also his most powerful Pokémon. Duolong Barchuo, use boiling water. Mirong Shui ordered. I saw. Multi-Dragon Bart leaned on his body like a swimming dragon, and while quickly approaching rival, he opened his mouth and spat out a jet of extremely hot water, hitting Nidoking hard. That powerful force directly pushed Nidoking back several steps. Water restrains the ground, and the effect is outstanding. And that's not all. Although boiling water is a water-type skill, it is scorching hot like flames, and it has a high probability of causing rival to fall into a burning contest condition. Wow, the boiling water is so hot. Nidoking's skin turned red, can it really bear it? Host exclaimed. At this time, Nidoking also did fall into burning contest condition, and his facial expression was in pain. And falling into the burning contest condition is not just as simple as being devoured by the burning pain. What's more, if the body is weak, the physical attack is directly halved. And Nidoking is best at physical attacks. But now, it is restricted by burns. It can be said that this has already lost half. Hold on, Nidoking, use freeze beam. Ma Teng gave an order. Falling into burning, physical attack is halved. This Ma Teng was also decisive, and directly switched to special attacks. Heard the words. Nidoking immediately opened his mouth and spit out two intersecting icy rays of light, directly hitting the Dragon Bart and going away. However, facing Nidoking's powerful attack, Mirong Shui seemed very indifferent. Because she knows her Doran Barto is very fast. As a ghost dragon, that is to say, the legendary ghost dragon, Duolong Barchuo's speed is almost unbelievable. Even among the powerful quasi-gods, he directly climbed to the top. Compared with Nidoking, it is even faster. After dodging, use Dragon God to dive. Really? Duolong Barchuo's figure swayed slightly in mid-air, easily avoiding the freezing light, and then flashed out, releasing a powerful murderous aura in an instant, and slammed into the Duozu wolf fiercely. At this moment, Nidoking was directly intimidated by the murderous aura emanating from Duolong Barchuo. His head was sweating profusely, his body was stiff and unable to move. Get out of the way, Nidoking! Ma Teng yelled anxiously, however, to no avail. With a bang, Doran Bart slammed into Nidoking's body fiercely, causing a terrifying explosion, and smoke and dust billowed up. The Dragon God dives, and the Dragon God dives again. What a terrifying Dragon God palace! Host shouted excitedly again. At this time, no one cares about his lack of words, because everyone can feel his mood. That Dragon God swooping down was really terrifying. When the smoke clears. Sure enough, Nidoking had already fallen to the ground, completely unconscious. Nidoking incapable of fighting. Let us congratulate Mirongxiu for crushing rival with amazing strength and advancing to the final first. As soon as the host finished speaking, the sound waves on the scene exploded in an instant. At this time, Mirong Shui suddenly looked in the direction of Wang Lu in the auditorium, smiled, and murmured in a voice that only she could hear, "Student Wang Lu, the next one is you, don't let me down." Obviously. In the final, she most wants to face off against Wang Lu. "Wow, she saw you, son, Mirong Shui, she saw you!" Tian Hui shouted excitedly while patting her son. Heard the words. Wang Lu rolled his eyes directly, and said, "Mom, don't be too nervous, okay? There are so many people at the scene, who knows who she is looking at? Maybe she is looking at you. It's not big or small." Tian Hui immediately cursed with a smile. At this time, Wang Hongguang, Wang Lu's father, asked Wang Lu, "Son, if you face this Mirong Shui, what are your chances of winning?" Heard the words. Zhao Hongii and Cao Lai on the side couldn't help pricking up their ears. "How much?" "Of course 100%. Wang Lu smiled proudly, appearing full of confidence. "I mean..." Wang Hongguang suddenly approached Wang Lu, and said in a low voice, "I mean, without using those two, what chance do you have of winning?" "0, ask for flowers." "Don't worry, I will definitely abuse her." Wang Lu patted his chest directly. About 10 minutes later, under the host's call, Tian Lu and Lei Jian both arrived at the exhibition. Lei Jian is tall and thin, at least 190 centimeters. His eyes are very sharp, and his aura is extraordinarily strong. It's a pity that his appearance is normal, although he is not ugly, he is not very handsome. Compared to Wang Lu's words, that's even worse. If he was more handsome, the number of fans would definitely double. "Wang Lu, I have to say, your luck is really good." Lei Jian looked at Wang Lu and spoke with eloquence, "Fracture evolved into Haxorus when you needed it most, otherwise, I would never put you in my eyes." "Oh it." Facing Lei Jian's ridicule, Wang Lu smiled lightly, "That is to say, I've made you feel the pressure with just one Haxorus. If that's the case, I advise you to just admit defeat. Because, Haxorus is almost my weakest Pokémon." "You?" Lei Jian was startled, speechless. Obviously, compared to Wang Lu, he is not good at talking. Wow, the competition has not even started yet, the two contestants are already secretly competing. Host shouted loudly, and the audience was full of laughter. Everyone felt that although Wang Lu looked a little cold, but he was quite strong in his mouth, and he immediately wiped out Lei Jian. Many people couldn't help making fun of Lei Jian. This kid is obviously stupid, but he still wants to mock him first. Isn't this looking for abuse? Okay, the game is about to start, and Wang Lu will go first. Go, Haxorus! As soon as the host finished speaking, Wang Lu decisively dispatched Haxorus to play. Wang Lu's love for this guy is not normal, so he decisively regards him as a pioneer. Humph! Sure enough, it's Haxorus, don't you have any other Pokémon? Lei Jian snorted coldly, and immediately took out an Ultra Ball and threw it out, let's play, Agrin. White light flashed. Lei Jian actually sent a big guy to play. Looking at the body shape, coupled with the steel armor covering the whole body looks extremely thick. Chapter 60. Haxorus vs Agrin. Agrin. Attribute Steel plus Rock. Level 54, Elite. Qualification, Orange. So dispatched by Salation. This Agrin is probably just Lei Jian's normal main force. But his normal main Pokémon is even stronger than Ma Teng's trump card Pokémon. Just because he is Lei Jian, the grandson of a retired old elite in the southern region. No, it's Agrin. Seeing Thunder Sword sending Agrin out, Wang Hongguang was shocked and said solemnly, if I remember correctly, it should be the Steel plus Rock attribute. Not to mention Rock type, its Steel type is very conti for Dragon Pokémon. And more importantly, Agrin has extremely terrifying physical defense. It can be said that its existence is a nightmare for a Dragon Pokémon like Haxorus who is good at physical 040 attacks. That boy from Lei Jian, come prepared. What he said made Tian Hui and Cao Lai feel nervous immediately. But uncle, since Agrin is a Steel plus Rock attribute, it is easy to deal with it with fighting skills, with 4 times the damage. Zhao Hongyi did not agree with Wang Hongguang's point of view, and said with a smile, I think with Wang Lu's strength, his Haxorus must have mastered fighting skills. Heard the words. Wang Hongguang suddenly raised his eyebrows. Turn out to be. Is this what happened? Tian Hui also breathed a sigh of relief, and then gave Wang Hongguang a fierce look, what the hell are you doing? You are a third-rate trainer, how dare you comment here? Make us worry blindly. Really? Wang Hongguang couldn't help being speechless, with a hurt look on his face. He is indeed just a third-rate trainer. Otherwise, he would not abandon martial arts and follow literature. After all, Pokémon trainer is his favorite profession. Becoming a Pokémon master is his farthest dream. Tian Hui didn't bother to look at his useless look. She turned around and looked at Zhao Hongyi with admiration. This Stephanie is young, but she is indeed a gym trainer. She is really awesome. She is a perfect match for my stupid son. Hongyi, you seem to know my family Wang Lu very well. Tian Hui looked at Zhao Hongyi and said with an ambiguous smile. How could I? Zhao Hongyi's pretty face turned red. Oh, it's Agrin. How should player Wang Lu deal with such a heavyweight rival? Host shouted. Haxorus, use taunt. Wang Lu ordered. Good. As he has the right to attack first, the first thing he uses is not sword dance, but taunt. I saw. Following Haxorus's taunts and physical taunts, Agrin suddenly became furious. Regardless, he rushed directly towards Haxorus. After falling into the rage contest condition, Agrin will only be able to use offensive skills for a short period of time. For example, defense skills such as iron defense cannot be used. You know, Agrin's physical defense is extremely terrifying, and once iron defense is used, it becomes even more terrifying. And Wang Lu's move taunt directly blocked that possibility. What are you doing, Agrin? Come down here. Lei Jian shouted angrily. Heard the words. Agrin reluctantly stopped. Despite this, it still glared at Haxorus, as if it wanted to kill him with its eyes. Come on, Haxorus, use close combat. Wang Lu gave an order. As soon as he finished speaking, Haxorus spun around in a circle. When it stood firmly, a golden light rose from its feet, greatly increasing its strength and momentum. Good. It spontaneously uses sword dance, increasing its power. When a Pokémon has experienced hundreds of battles, grown to a certain level, and gained extremely high proficiency in various skills, many skills can be completed in an instant. On this basis, before they attack, they often spontaneously use sword dance or agility, such boosting skills. Haxorus has obviously reached such a state. This is not because Wang Lu is well trained. In fact, Wang Lu has just been conquered. Although he has done targeted coaching, it is just icing on the cake. The most fundamental reason is this Haxorus is very aggressive. In fact, it has experienced many battles during the Axu period and has a lot of combat experience. Nowadays, including evolution, it's just accumulation. Furious fighting energy gathering. After the sword dance, an extremely powerful aura emerged from Haxorus, and with a swoosh, he flashed forward and frantically attacked Agrin. Very good, Agrin takes its attack with heavy blast. Lei Jian smiled confidently. Bang bang bang. However, Lei Jian still underestimated the power of Haxorus. I saw Haxorus repeatedly close combat, beating Agrin back steadily, screaming again and again. After only holding on for 2 or 3 seconds, Agrin had already collapsed and completely fell into a coma. Contest condition. Wow! Haxorus is such a powerful force. Host exclaimed loudly, directly speaking Lei Jian's heartfelt thoughts. AJ. Lei Jian was a little dumbfounded. The power that Haxorus erupted made him unbelievable. Right. The close combat used by Haxorus is a fighting type skill. The attribute is indeed very restrained for Agrin, and it can easily quadruple the damage. But then you have to break the defense first. If it can't break the defense, no matter how powerful the attribute restraint is, no matter how high the multiple damage is, it will be useless. For example, Guedud's rock throw has a mega effect on molters, quadruple the damage. B. Normal, can Guedud break through molters' defenses? Same thing. Even among all Pokémon, Agrin's physical defense is top-notch. Lei Jian is also extremely confident in the defense of his Agrin. But now, Haxorus has directly defeated Boss 5.0 Laren, killing him instantly. What a mighty Haxorus! At the contestants' table, Mirong Shue's beauty also flashed with fear. To be honest, she also has a pretty good Agrin from breeder. Without the foreshadowing of the Thunder Sword in front of her, she would have decided to use Agrin to fight against Wang Lu's Haxorus. But now, she's completely smelling salts. The strength of Haxorus is simply too strong. In particular, Wang Lu's Haxorus is a shiny Pokémon with extraordinary talents, and its power is even more powerful than the normal Haxorus. Simply irresistible. Even Agrin can't resist it, let alone other Pokémon. Then facing Haxorus, instead of defending, it is better to take the initiative to attack. Seize its weak point and directly use powerful skills to kill it instantly. Chapter 61. Belly Drum, Mega Hercules. After thinking this through, Mirong Shui smiled slightly. Fortunately, besides Agrin, she has other Pokémon of Conti Haxorus, and far more than just one. This is her advantage as an elite daughter. She has shown amazing talent as a trainer since she was a child. On this basis, she has also cultivated a large number of Pokémon with various attributes. Afterwards, those with outstanding talents will be selected and carefully cultivated. An outstanding family background and a rich background allow her to act without any scruples. For someone else, don't even think about it. No doubt. Trainer is definitely a very expensive profession. If you want to stand out, in addition to talent, a lot of resource accumulation is also essential. Not to mention other people, even Lei Jian couldn't do it to Mirong Shue's level. Lei Jian is said to be the grandson of a retired elite, but a retired elite of Lei's family is naturally not as good as the Mirong family who is in the limelight. More importantly, most of Lei Jian's father's generation did not have the talent of a trainer. In Lei Jian's generation, such a large family has somewhat of a downfall. That is to say, Lei 04 Jian has outstanding talent and extremely high trainer ability, otherwise, the gap between him and Mirong Shui will only become wider and wider. Damn Haxorus! Lei Jian gritted his teeth, and then sneered again. Fortunately, I made more than one preparation, and it's time for you to play next. Go, Azumarill! White light flashed. Thunder Sword sent out a second Pokémon, which was also an Azumarill. Azumarill. Attribute, Water plus Fairy. Level 56, Elite. Qualification, Orange. As a Dragon Slayer warrior. In fact, many people will breeder a Hercules Azumarill, because it is really easy to use. And Lei Jian's Azumarill, without even thinking about it, is definitely a Hercules ability. And Lei Jian, an Azumarill, actually has the orange aptitude, which can be said to be quite against the sky. Among the 10,000 Azumarills, it is estimated that it is difficult to find a date. Unexpectedly, Lei Jian can have it, and the level is not low, it has reached the level of the elite peak. Certainly. Except Hercules Azumarill, the dragon-slaying warrior. Sylveon, Togekiss, Ice Ninetales, Gardevoir, are also good at dragon slaying. It depends on whether you have it or not. Because while they are powerful, they are also very rare. Compared with them, Hercules Azumarill is much more common. First strike. Haxorus, use Iron Tail. Wang Lu ordered. A whoosh sound. I saw Haxorus exerting force on the solace of his feet, splashing high, and the long dragon tail instantly emitting Orberg-like light, sweeping towards the opposite Azumarill. Orberg restrains Fairy, the effect is outstanding. Humph, the skills are quite complete. Facing Wang Lu's attack, Lei Jian sneered and said, Azumarill, use belly drum. Call. Heard the words. Azumarill opened his mouth wide for a moment and inhaled a large amount of air, making his round belly bulge even higher. In this instant, Azumarill was dripping with sweat, and his skin instantly turned red. However, its contest condition is very good, and its momentum has increased several times in an instant, giving people a feeling that it can tear everything apart. Belly Drum, at the cost of burning half of the HP, increases physical attack by 6 levels. In such an instant, Azumarill's physical attack was at least doubled. Hercules Azumarill's physical attack is already very strong. Now, it has been doubled, and it has definitely reached a terrifying level. If I had to describe it, it would be Mega Dolly Wong. Certainly. Azumarill itself is very brittle. Belly Drum, after burning half of its health, it becomes even more brittle, and almost collapses when touched. It can be seen from this that Lei Jian doesn't want to fight Wang Lu, or Haxorus for a long time at all, but just wants to head-to-head. Wants to bring Haxorus down, even if it costs him dearly. Very well, now, Marill uses Freeze Punch. Just as Haxorus' Iron Tail swept towards him, Azumarill also punched out. Boom! 2 terrifying energies collided, causing a violent explosion for a while, and the smoke and dust rose 10 feet. It's too intense. It's too shocking. This is a duel of pure strength. Okay, let's see who the winner will be. Host shouted. Soon, the smoke cleared. I saw that Haxorus and Azumarill both fell down and completely passed out. Haxorus, Azumarill, both disabled. The host announced the result, and the scene immediately boiled. The fiery battle between Wang Lu and Lei Jian directly blew up the scene, making all the audience stare at the arena with excitement. Come back Azumarill, go, Magnezone. Thunder Sword took Azumarill back and sent out a third Pokémon instead. Magnezone. Attribute, Electric plus Steel. Level 58, Elite. Qualification, Orange. Magnezone, this is the final evolution of Magnemite. It has an elliptical body similar to a UFO, floating in the air without touching the ground. So, even if it doesn't have flying type, it can basically ignore most of the ground skills. Oh, it's Magnezone. The third Pokémon, the Lightning Sword player, has finally dispatched his electric-type Pokémon. Host shouted loudly. Like he said. As the grandson of the former 460 Electricity Elite, Lei Jian's family inheritance is basically electricity Pokémon and learning methods for various electricity skills. At the same time, Thunder Sword is also best at using electric Pokémon. Rival is Magnezone. So, come on, Dragonair. Wang Lu also sent out his second Pokémon at the same time. As a dragon Pokémon, Dragonair is very beneficial to electric Pokémon in terms of attribute. On this basis, Wang Lu's Dragonair has a wide attack area and has the Flamethrower skill, which can have a very good effect on Magnezone. That's why Wang Lu sent Dragonair to fight. Dragonair? Hehe, it's a pity it's not Dragonite. Looking at the Dragonair on Wang Lu's field, Lei Jian sneered. His remarks undoubtedly angered Dragonair. I saw Dragonair's eyes blazing, and he writhed excitedly. Wang Lu hurriedly used the power of Yulong to appease, and at the same time smiled, I don't need Dragonite at all, my Dragonair is more than enough to deal with you. Is it? Lei Jian sneered, didn't care at all, and shouted confidently, go, Magnezone, use Thunderbolt to attack. Heard the words. I saw the 2 Magnemite arms of Magnezone shooting out a bolt of lightning respectively. Immediately, the 2 lightning bolts merged into one, turning into a more powerful lightning bolt, crushing the air all the way, and ruthlessly hitting the opposite Dragonair. Chapter 62. Could it be, he is the legendary Wave Guide hero? Don't be afraid of Dragonair, use Light Screen. Following Wang Lu's order, Dragonair immediately summoned energy mirrors to guard around its body. Stab! Thunderbolt called, and the energy mirror also bounced up, directly absorbing half of the electricity. The other half of the electricity penetrated the light screen and landed on Dragonair. However, bearing this level of thunder shock, Dragonair didn't seem to feel normal, and didn't even blink an eye. What? Lei Jian couldn't help being surprised to know. Except for the two big trump cards. This Magnezone is almost Thunder Sword's strongest main Pokémon. At the same time, he is very confident in Magnezone's power. Even if Light Screen blocked half of Thunder Shock, he still thought it was very strong. More importantly, the opponent is only a Dragonair, not a Dragonite, so how can it have such a powerful defense? Good. Lei Jian is a person who attaches great importance to foundation and theory. At the same time, it also attaches great importance to grade and form. In his opinion, a Pokémon that is not in its final form is not powerful enough. In his view, a trainer sending out Pokémon in a non-final form at a conference is immature. In this freshman competition, Wang Lu will appear successively as Electabuzz, Dratini, and Fracture, and has undergone many evolutions. This is the main reason why Lei Jian is not optimistic about Wang Lu. Actually, his theory is not too wrong. Because of normal. The non-final form of Pokémon is indeed not powerful enough, and the level is not too high. It's just that Wang Lu is too special. Wang Lu's Pokémon is also too special. Dragonair, it's just Dragonair, it's also the orange aptitude, and it's also as high as level 58, who can stand it? How about Lei Jian, my Dragonair is pretty good. Woo! Following Wang Lu's call, Dragonair proudly roared at Lei Jian. Normal. Lei Jian said coldly. Having said that, in fact, Fu Jian has also recognized the strength of Dragonair. Because he has never seen such a strong Dragonair. This is true. After all, with such a strong Dragonair, normal has already evolved. Since that's the case, I'll let you know how powerful it is. Wang Lu sneered, and shouted directly at Dragonair, come on, use Dragon God to dive. The voice just fell. Dragonair released an astonishing murderous aura in an instant, moved his body, and ruthlessly slammed into the opposite Magnezone. Unfortunately, Magnezone on the opposite side is not good either. Dragonair's murderous intent has no real impact on it. Magnezone, use double team. As Lei Jian finished speaking, Magnezone sent out more than a dozen clones in an instant. Seeing this, Wang Lu smiled coldly. Come on, Dragonair. Heard the words. Dragonair flew directly past many clones and slammed into Magnezone's body. That powerful force directly knocked Magnezone down from mid-air, and then fell to the ground hard, causing heavy losses. Hiss! Lei Jian couldn't help but gasp. How can this be? To be honest, after Magnezone split into more than a dozen clones, even he himself didn't know who was real and who was fake. That Dragonair, how do you know? Inadvertently glancing at Wang Lu's confident eyes, Lei Jian's heart skipped a beat, and he suddenly thought of a possibility. Could it be that Wang Lu is the legendary Wave Guide hero? As a family heir, Lei Jian's vision is naturally far beyond that of ordinary people. Although he has never seen the Wave Guide hero with his own eyes, he heard his grandfather talk about it when he was a child. First, Lei Jian knows that the Wave Guide hero has a special ability, that is, he can detect all obstacles. Tobrow. The chain reaction between Wang Lu and Dragonair is exactly the same as the legendary Wave hero. No wonder. No wonder this guy is so powerful. At this moment, Lei Jian seemed to have figured out a certain key point. As the heirs of the family, it is understandable that he and Mirong Shui have outstanding talents and strong strength. But why is Wang Lu so strong? He turns out to be a Wave Guide hero. Classmate Wang Lu, you are so surprising. I didn't expect you to be the legendary Director Bo. At this time, at the contestants' table, Mirong Shui stared closely at Wang Lu, her beautiful eyes flashing with brilliance. I didn't expect that among my peers, there would be such a powerful enemy. When she thought of this, Mirong Shui felt her blood boiling all over her body. At this time, naturally, Wang Lu didn't know what Lei Jian and Mirong Shui were thinking. Of course, even if he knew, he didn't care. Regarding the power of Wave Guide and the power of Yulong, he has never thought about hiding clumsiness. Because there is no need. After all, this ability cannot be plundered by outsiders. Even if ordinary people know that Wang Lu possesses the power of a waveguide and the power of controlling a dragon, at most they will be envious and jealous, so what can they do? Now, Dragonair uses flamethrower. The battle continues. I saw that Dragonair approached and fired a flamethrower, directly taking Magnezone away. Magnezone loses the ability to fight. Okay, in a blink of an eye, Jiwan only has the last 3 Pokémon left. Next, how should he deal with it? Host shouted. Jiwan took back the Magnezone, took out an insulating ball and threw it out. Go, naughty bomb! White light flashed. I saw a huge electro ball appearing in Jiwan's exhibition hall. It has blue and white skin and always has a smiling face, which looks very funny. Good. This naughty bullet is quite extraordinary, it is a shiny Pokémon. Naughty bomb. Attribute, electricity. Level 62, Master. Qualification, light gold. What? Flash naughty bomb. The host was shocked, and couldn't help shouting loudly, I didn't expect, Nuumahao, that Thunder Sword player also owns a shiny Pokémon. The scene immediately became excited. Even Mirang Shui showed a hint of surprise in her beautiful eyes. Obviously, Jiwan has been hiding his clumsiness in the previous competitions. This Flash is one of his 2 trump cards, and it is the first time he has played it. It turns out to be a light golden qualification. Glancing at the attribute panel of that Flash naughty bomb, Wang Lu couldn't help being surprised. Thunder Sword is the strongest trump card, is a Flash Thunder Pokémon, it is a family inheritance, there is nothing to say. Did not expect. On this basis, Jiwan actually has a shiny Pokémon. If it wasn't for the system, Wang Lu would almost suspect that Fujian is the protagonist. Wang Lu was relieved. After all, this world is still too big, and there are countless capable people and strange people. Not to mention, this Thunder Sword is still the inheritor of the family, so it is normal to have such strength. Chapter 63. The Terrifying Naughty Bullet. Dragonair, I'll leave it to you as well. In the face of Jiwan's naughty bomb, Wang Lu does not intend to replace Dragonair, after all, Dragonair is still very advantageous in terms of attribute. Here, use the hydro pump. Following Wang Lu's order, Dragonair immediately opened its mouth and ejected a high-pressure hydro pump, viciously blasting towards the naughty bomb opposite. However, facing Dragonair's hydro pump attack, Jiwan just sneered, naughty bomb, let them see your speed, use agility. Call out. Whoa! Whoa! I saw. The naughty bullet flickered frantically in mid-air at an incredible speed. Not only did it easily avoid the hydro pump, but the speed made Dragonair a little dizzy. Oh my god, naughty plays so fast! The host shouted in shock, and the scene immediately boiled. This is Naughty Bomb. Naughty Bullet itself is a super high-speed Pokémon, possessing a terrifying speed species strength, and Thunder Sword's Flash Naughty Bullet, its speed is undoubtedly even more terrifying. Not to mention, under Agility's contest condition, its speed should not skyrocket by 2/3. At this time, Dragonair shook his head, obviously dizzy from the speed of the naughty bomb. Jiwan grasped this opportunity very keenly, and shouted, Naughty Bomb, after charge, use Thunderbolt. There was a chi sound. I saw the spark flickering on the naughty bomb, and its power was almost doubled at this moment. Then a flash of lightning was sent out, the power was extremely violent, and it went straight to Dragonair. But the light screen released by Dragonair before, the effect is still there. I saw. Just when the powerful lightning was about to hit Dragonair, the light screen bounced out of Dragonair again, directly absorbing half of the electricity. Same as previous Magnezone. The same Thunderbolt, also only half powerful, fell on Dragonair. Whoa! However, this time, Dragonair shouted. Give it the finishing touch, Naughty, and use Swift. Following Jiwan's order, Naughty Bullet opened its mouth, spit out a large number of golden stars in an instant, and exploded viciously on Dragonair. Dragonair suffered pain one after another, exhausted his physical strength, tilted his head, and fell straight down. Dragonair, is incapable of fighting. Wow, Thunder Sword player's mischievous bullet is really too strong, it opened up the situation in an instant. Host shouted excitedly while announcing the result. Student Jiwan is indeed very good, but Wang Lu must be more than that. On the player's bench, Mirang Shui stared at the arena and murmured. Come back, Dragonair. While taking back the Dragonair, Wang Lu took out another luxury ball and threw it out. It's time for you to play, Electivire. Oh, it really is Electivire. Among the 4 Pokémon we know about, Wang Lu, Haxorus, and Dragonair have already been defeated. The rest is Electivire and Milotic. Facing Legian's powerful Naughty Bomb, Wang Lu sent Electivire to fight. Host shouted triumphantly, making many audience members nod secretly. Really? Facing the mischievous bombs of the electric type, you can't send out the Milotic of the water type, right? Isn't that a gift? Come back, Naughty Bomb! Many viewers are just about to enjoy a fierce battle between electric Pokémon. Unexpectedly, Legion took the Naughty Bullet back. Naughty Bullet successfully won a match, and now the momentum is in full swing. Why did Legion replace it? In the auditorium, Cao Li couldn't understand Legion's operation, so he couldn't help asking. Heard the words. Wang Hongguang and Tianhui also looked at Zhao Hongyi at the same time. Obviously, they don't know this secret, so they can only wait for Zhao Hongyi's detoxification. After all, among the 4 of them, Zhao Hongyi has the highest rank. Zhao Hongyi is also a gym trainer after all, although she is a fire gym trainer, which means she is best at using fire skills. But Zhao Hongyi's basic knowledge is also very profound. The same Pokémon of the electric type, Naughty Bullet and Electivire, are quite resistant to lightning at the same time. But on this basis, the Naughty Bullet has only a speed advantage, while the Electivire has a fundamental strength advantage. The result of this is likely to be that Naughty Bombs can't be used for a long time, but Electivire can be effective with one blow. Zhao Hongyi looked at the 3 of them and explained patiently. I see. The 3 of them nodded immediately, looking at Zhao Hongyi with admiration. Especially Tianhui, with a smile in her eyes, looking at Zhao Hongyi, just like looking at her own daughter-in-law. And her strange gaze immediately made Zhao Hongyi's pretty face turn slightly rosy. After taking back the Naughty Bullet, facing Wang Lu's powerful Electivire, who will Thunder Sword come down to play? Is it Ray Pokémon, or Hydreigon? Host asked doubtfully. This host is clearly a fan of Pokémon battles. Even he himself is a fan of Wang Lu, Legion, and Mirong Shuet, and he knows their Pokémon very well. Go, Hydreigon! Legion's 5th Pokémon, as expected, sent out Hydreigon. Hydreigon. Attribute Dragon plus Evil. Level 59, Elite. Qualification, Orange. Glancing at Hydreigon's attribute panel, Wang Lu shook his head secretly. For a powerful quasi-god, the strength of this Hydreigon is quite normal, and it only has the aptitude of the orange one. You know, God has many talents. Wang Lu estimated that quasi-gods must at least have orange qualifications. And Legion's Hydreigon is undoubtedly the most common one. In fact, with Legion's talent and strength, he is completely worthy of a stronger Hydreigon. As for why not? It can only be bad luck. I didn't meet better. Preemptive strike. Electivire, use thunder. Wang Lu ordered. Heard the words. Electivire immediately stretched out his hands, and released a powerful thunderbolt like lightning, heading straight for Hydreigon opposite. So fast. Legion couldn't help but be surprised. The gap brought about by this level and the crushing of qualifications cannot be ignored. As for whether Hydreigon could dodge the thunder, Legion was not sure at all, so he simply shouted, take it down, use tri-attack. There was a boom. Thunder hit Hydreigon accurately, and Hydreigon was obviously in pain, and couldn't help howling, but the 3 dragon heads were not to be outdone, emitting light of different colors, and hit the Electivire. Chapter 64. End up together, the terrifying explosion. There was a bang. The 3 rays also focused on the Electivire, causing a small-scale explosion. However, Electivire seems to be doing nothing. There was a flash of lightning around him a few times, but it quickly dissipated again. Tri-attack has a certain chance to burn, freeze, or paralyze the enemy. It seems. Tri-attack hit Electivire just now, it seems to have triggered the paralysis effect. Unfortunately. As an electric Pokémon, Electivire is directly immune to the paralysis effect. Electivire, use Frozen Punch. Wang Lu gave an order. What? Hearing Wang Lu's order, Legion was stunned. Although his Hydreigon does not have a flying type, it is also a dragon Pokémon with wings and can fly, right? Is your freezing fist enough? However, the next moment, he was directly stunned. I saw that Electivire used the Orberg tail directly on the ground. With this impact, Electivire splashed high and knocked Hydreigon to the ground with a freezing punch. Ice Dragon, the effect is outstanding. In addition, Hydreigon had been injured before, and his physical strength was exhausted at this time. With a miserable howl, he passed out. For such a result, Wang Lu was not surprised at all. To him, Electivire itself is one of his extremely powerful Pokémon. Its level is very high, and its combat power is quite terrifying. Among Electivire, Haxorus, Mitsumi, and Dragonair, Electivire's combat power is undoubtedly the first, and it is still ahead by a lot. On that basis, it should come as no surprise that the Hydreigon was easily crushed. Hydreigon is out of combat. Host announces the result. Now, Jiwan finally has only 2 Pokémon left. Facing Wang Lu's powerful Electivire, he is at the end of his rope and has no way out. Host shouted, making the scene boil. Especially for Wang Lu's supporters and fans, the shouts were deafening. After all, Thunder Sword has only the last 2 Pokémon left. As for Wang Lu, he just lost 2 Pokémon, which is a huge gap. Especially, Electivire is almost at its peak contest condition. Such a situation is naturally very happy for Wang Lu's supporters and fans. Wang Lu's victory seems to be in sight. To trouble you again, go, naughty bomb. Really? Jiwan once again dispatched a naughty pop-up. Electivire, use fire punch. Wang Lu ordered. Before, Zhao Hongai's analysis of the relationship between Electivire and naughty bullets is generally correct. But she was still missing some details. That is, Electivire can learn a lot of skills and has a wide range of strikes. Although it can't restrain the naughty bullets, it won't be able to be Conti. On the other hand, the naughty bomb has a single skill and a very narrow attack surface. Facing the powerful Electivire, it is difficult to deal effective damage. Call out. Electivire flashed forward, a fiery flame flashed above the front of the fist, and punched the naughty bullet. Facing the strong attack of Electivire, Jiwan was not in a hurry. It wasn't until the Electivire got quite close to the naughty bomb that he yelled, "Up, naughty bomb, use explosion." Heard the words. Naughty bullet grinned at Electivire, and immediately the whole body emitted extremely dazzling white light, and finally exploded loudly under Electivire's shocked gaze. Boom! The dazzling white light shot straight into the sky, and the terrifying explosion sounded loudly, setting off gusts of wind, sweeping towards all directions like shock waves. Okay, what a terrifying explosion! It really deserves to be the strongest physical attack ever. Then, under such a terrifying explosion, can Electivire persist? Host shouted excitedly. Soon, the smoke cleared. I saw an unsightly big hole directly appeared on the stadium of the original contest. In the big pit, both Electivire and Naughty Bullet fell down and passed out completely. Electivire, Naughty Bomb, and lose the ability to fight at the same time. The host announces the result directly. So far, Thunder Sword is the last Pokémon left. On Wang Lu's side, there are still 3 of them left. Come on, boy, it's great. Together with the carnival fans at the scene, Tianhui also pulled her husband to stand up and cheered loudly. The 2 of them have really experienced Jiwan's powerful strength, but it is still not as good as their own son. Not even close. At this time, Wang Hongguang and Tianhui had proud smiles on their faces. 0. Ask for flowers. It seems that the outcome has already been revealed. Wang Lu's strength is really terrifying. On the contestants' bench, Mirong Shui stared closely at Wang Lu, with an inexplicable gleam in her beautiful eyes. Wang Lu is so good that she couldn't help being a little moved. Certainly. What she cares more about is Wang Lu's competition rival. The strong are ruthless. As for Thunder Sword, at this time, Mirong Shui just hoped that Jiwan would be more powerful, and force Wang Lu to show more strength as much as possible. After all, in her opinion, what Wang Lu hides is still too deep. What has been revealed so far may still be just the tip of the iceberg. Come back, Naughty Bomb. Point 0. There were almost one-sided cheers at the scene. But Jiwan didn't seem to be affected in the slightest, and still took the naughty bullet back steadily. It's not that his mentality is good enough to be immune to negative emotions, but because he is very confident. He is extremely behind. But until now, he still thinks he can win. This is by no means arrogance. It's extreme self-confidence. And absolute trust in my own trump card Pokémon. In his opinion. Today, although Wang Lu still has 3 Pokémon left, the Milotic among them is almost negligible. Just because his trump card Pokémon is Ray Pokémon. Electricity beats water. It doesn't take much, one move can instantly kill. And he firmly believes that with the terrifying strength of his strongest trump card, Lay Pokémon, there is no problem at all against Wang Lu's last 2 Pokémon. He even has a whole card. So far, there is still no whole card exposed. Go, Ray Pokémon! Call out! I saw a spark flashing past, and Lay Pokémon appeared on the scene. This is a flash Pokémon with green skin, although it doesn't have much beauty. But thunderclouds flickered all over him, and he looked extremely imposing. Its figure is also very tall and handsome, and it is obviously more than a lap stronger than normal Lay Pokémon. Ray Pokémon. Attribute, Electricity. Level, Level 68, Master. Qualification, Light Gold. Glancing at Lay Pokémon's attribute panel, Wang Lu has a bottom line in his mind. Fortunately, it is also a level 68 epic. Chapter 65. Mega Evolution, Mega Thunder Pokémon. It's your turn, Mitsumi. With a flash of white light, Wang Lu also sent out his 4th Pokémon. As far as attributes are concerned, compared with the lightning-type Pokémon, Mitsumi undoubtedly fell into a big disadvantage. But the qualifications are the same, and the level is not much different. Mitsumi is currently level 62. Wang Lu feels that Mitsumi still has the power to fight, but if it is not possible, there are still blood-counting dragons and ancient pterosaurs at the bottom. Sure enough, it's Milotic, Wang Lu, you're really well hidden. Staring at Wang Lu, Lei Jian couldn't help but sneer. And his words undoubtedly aroused the resonance of countless people present. Wang Lu's hiding is too deep. Since the start of the competition, the semi-finals are almost over. However, Wang Lu never revealed his 5th Pokémon. However, what happens next may be uncertain. The audience are not stupid. August 20, they still understand the basic attribute restraint. Not to mention, Lay Pokémon is Lei Jian's trump card Pokémon, inherited from the family, and its strength is really strong. Go, Lay Pokémon, Tian 1 Volt. As soon as Lei Jian finished speaking, Lay Pokémon spontaneously used charge. At this moment, its power doubled directly. At the same time, as it approached Mitsumi, it released Thunderbolt to attack Mitsumi. Many experienced Pokémon will have such a habit, a good habit. That is, when they conduct long-range attacks, they will continue to approach rival. This is the same as target shooting, the closer the target is, the higher the hit rate will undoubtedly be. Then the closer to the enemy to attack, the higher the hit rate. There was a bang. Thunderbolt hits the mark. Woo! I saw, in the bright and intense thunder, Mitsumi howled in pain. Hold on, Mitsumi, fight back with Hydro Pump. Hearing Wang Lu's encouragement, under the strong thunder light, Mitsumi gritted her teeth and persisted, and then spit out a high-pressure Hydro Pump, which hit Lay Pokémon heavily. That formidable power also directly knocked Lay Pokémon back, and the 4 soles of the feet drew shallow traces on the ground, causing smoke and dust to rise. What? Lei Jian couldn't help being taken aback. He never expected that under attribute restraint and charge contest condition, his Thunder Pokémon could not kill Mitsumi in one move. This is really weird. Isn't that Milotic too tenacious? I saw. As Lay Pokémon was impacted and fell several meters, a jewel pendant suddenly floated out of the mane around its neck, shining brightly in the sunlight. Mega Stone. Ray Pokémon's Mega Evolution Stone. This is Lei Jian's whole card that has been hidden all along. That's the Mega Evolution Stone. On the contestants' bench, Mirong Shui almost stood up in shock. When she looked at Lei Jian again, her eyes were full of envy. Mega Evolution, as an evolution beyond evolution, can stimulate the potential of the final form of Pokémon and evolve again. In a short period of time, the combat power has been greatly improved. Even in this real world, the Mega Evolution Stone is still the top item. And extremely rare, priceless. Normal. A Mega Evolution Stone is worth at least 100 million xia coins. As for the Quasi-God Mega Evolution Stone, it goes without saying that it starts at least 100 million. After all, Quasi-Gods are too powerful. Once Mega Evolution occurs, it will be directly comparable to a mythical beast. How terrifying it will be! As for the Mega Evolution Stone of the mythical beast, sorry, that is a legendary item. Mirong Xued is rich, with the backing of the elite family, let alone 1 billion, even 10 billion, she can afford it with a gritted teeth. However, she still doesn't have any Mega Evolution Stones. Just because this thing is too rare and has a price but no market, you may not be able to buy it even if you have money. It also requires a lot of luck. For example, what Mirong Xued wants most is Duolong's Mega Evolution Stone. After all, she and Duolong grew up with Arnold and have the deepest bond. For other Pokémon, even if you have a Mega Evolution Stone, you may not be able to Mega Evolution. J. A city-level large-scale auction, occasionally only 1 or 2 Mega Evolution Stones, could it be Duolong's Mega Evolution Stone? How can there be such a good thing? Therefore, right now, Mirong Xued was so envious of Lei Jian. Because Thunder Pokémon is Thunder Sword's trump card Pokémon, and it is also a family inheritance. It almost grew up from Arnold. The bond is absolutely deep, and it can Mega Evolution. Answer my heart. Thunder Pokémon, Mega Evolution. Sure enough, Lei Jian also took out the corresponding keystone bracelet and shouted. This moment, the keystone in his hand and Lei Pokémon's Mega Evolution Stone echoed each other, and at the same time exuded extremely dazzling light. The Mega Evolution Stone's light is even more dazzling, covering Lei Pokémon's entire body in an instant. In that light, the Thunder Pokémon evolved again. When the light dissipated, a more powerful and handsome Thunder Pokémon appeared. This is the Mega Thunder Pokémon. Its size has obviously become larger, with white manes all over the body, looking extremely cool. In addition, between its eyebrows, a lightning symbol appeared. It has sharp eyes and detached demeanor, just like Raikou normal, and just breathing gives people a great experience. It's a pity, it still has green skin all over its body, it looks a bit weird. Otherwise, it would be even more handsome. Mega Thunder Pokémon. Attribute, Electricity. Level 68, Master. Qualification, Gold. It turns out to be a golden qualification. Glancing at the Mega Thunder Pokémon's attribute panel, Wang Lu's heart trembled slightly. No doubt. At this time, the aura shown by Lei Pokémon is already comparable to that of a mythical beast. What? Mega Evolution, Thunder Sword player actually made Lei Pokémon Mega Evolution. My god, who can believe that this is just an 18-year-old boy? Host shouted excitedly. This time, he was really excited. It's not that his previous excitement was fake. Only this time, he was really too excited. You know, Mega Evolution, it's hard, really hard. Some are like Mirong Xued, who has enough bonds with Pokémon but no stones. 4.5. This is already very powerful, it's just a little bit of luck. The vast majority of people do not have such a deep bond with their Pokémon, even trump card Pokémon. There is no doubt that a trainer with the Mega Evolution ability is considered a first-class trainer. And Lei Jian has already reached this level at such a young age. This is definitely a promising future and can be called the pride of Xianyuan College and even the entire Xianyuan city. Thunder Sword. Thunder Sword. Thunder Sword is awesome. The entire scene was completely boiling, and countless spectators fell into carnival. Just because Lei Jian is only 18 years old, he can use Mega Evolution, which is really awesome. Moreover, the Thunder Pokémon of Thunder Sword is already very powerful, and now it is accompanied by Mega Evolution. It really has a bright future, and it may become a legend again in the future. Chapter 66. Totem in the Air, the Ancient Pterosaur. Hearing that the audience shouted his name, Lei Jian smiled proudly. At this time, his strength has reached an unprecedented peak. In his opinion, with his Mega Ray Pokémon, let alone Wang Lu only has 3 Pokémon left, what if there are 6 left? He can still win. Come on, Ray Pokémon, use quick attack. Call out. As soon as Lei Jian finished speaking, the Mega Thunder Pokémon turned into a bolt of lightning and arrived in front of Mitsumi in an instant. At the same time, strong lightning surged from all over its body, and it slammed into Mitsumi's body fiercely. This is no longer a simple quick attack, but a combination of quick attack plus wild charge. They stronger than this Mega Thunder Pokémon, any combo skills can be done casually, at your fingertips. Wow! Being completely hit by this set of combo skills, Mitsumi let out a low cry and fell down powerlessly. Okay, so powerful, Mega Thunder Pokémon, so powerful! Host shouted and announced the Belgian result at the same time. 0-4 so far. Wang Lu has only the last 2 Pokémon left. I believe everyone is as nervous as I am. After all, who will Wang Lu send to fight next? Is it the stronger, rarer Pokémon, or Caterpie, Weedle? Host suddenly made a humorous gesture, which made the audience laugh and laugh. At the same time, this tense and almost suffocating atmosphere was also slightly relieved. Now, a lot of people can't believe it. The match between Wang Lu and Lei Jian was actually just a college freshman competition. I didn't know this, I thought it was the finals of the local alliance. Go, Primordial Pterosaur, it's your turn to play. The 5th Pokémon, Wang Lu sent the ancient pterodactyl into the field. Ah! As soon as it came out, the ancient pterosaur roared and looked at the Mega Thunder Pokémon below, with a strong fighting spirit flashing in its eyes. It turns out that Wang Lu's 5th Pokémon is a fossil. Wait! After seeing the appearance of the primordial pterosaur, the host was startled suddenly, and asked with great uncertainty, "May I ask if this Pokémon is Aerodactyl?" The scene boiled instantly. Aerodactyl! Flash Aerodactyl! Oh my god! Wang Lu is indeed a Flash trainer. Except Dragonair, all shiny Pokémon. No, it looks like Aerodactyl, but I'm sure it's not Aerodactyl. Is that the evolution of Aerodactyl? Can Aerodactyl still evolve? How is it possible? If so, how would you explain Mega Aerodactyl? Well known. Only Pokémon in their final form will have Mega Evolution Stones to match them. For example, Pikachu doesn't have it, but Raichu does. So, this theory alone is enough to show that the ancient pterosaur is not an evolution of Aerodactyl. After all, for the ancient pterosaur, it was just returning to what it used to be. It really isn't evolution, it's a regression, a return to primal. Groudon and Kyogre could also return to primal, but only temporarily. This may be because primal Groudon and primal Kyogre are too strong. The energy required for Groudon and Kyogre to return to primal is too great. Even the red and blue orbs can only temporarily restore primal's power. Although the ancient pterosaur is also very strong, comparable to a 2nd and 3rd level beast, but compared with primal Groudon or primal Kyogre, it is nothing. The energy required for Aerodactyl to return to primal is relatively small. A 1,000-year-old Dragon Ball was immediately awakened and returned forever. In terms of appearance, the ancient pterosaur is very similar to Aerodactyl, very similar. But it's just like it. As long as you are not blind, you can see the difference between Teiku Swanlong and Aerodactyl at a glance. However, the ancient pterosaur is a new species, which has never appeared before. For a while, it was difficult for the audience to admit its existence. Wang Lu, what happened to your Aerodactyl? Lei Jian couldn't help but asked in doubt. This is not Aerodactyl, but the ancient pterosaur, what Aerodactyl really looked like hundreds of millions of years ago. Wang Lu laughed. Wang Lu never thought of hiding the existence of the ancient pterosaur, never thought of it. He even wanted to let the whole world know the existence of the ancient pterosaur. After all, discovering a new breed is meaningless if you don't show it off. What? Primordial pterosaur. Aerodactyl's real appearance hundreds of millions of years ago. No wonder, it looks so imposing. The ancient pterosaur. This is the real soaring in the sky totem. It's unbelievable that contestant Wang Lu actually owns an ancient pterosaur. This is a new species. A new species that has never appeared before. Host couldn't help himself, and shouted excitedly, and the scene was shocked. My god, a new breed! Wang Lu is a goddamn, his Pokémon are all Flash, and now, even a new breed has been thrown out. Wang Lu, I beg you to be human, you are about to catch all the rare Pokémon. AHH. Little brother Wang Lu, I love it. I want to marry him. I want to give birth to monkeys for him. Give birth to many monkeys. Primeval pterodactyl. Wang Lu, how many secrets do you have? On the contestants' bench, Mirong Shui was completely drunk. Unconsciously, I became very curious about 370 Wang Lu, and wanted to reveal the mystery of Wang Lu. This makes her want to pay attention to Wang Lu all the time. Primeval Pterosaur. At this time, Lei Jian's expression gradually became ugly. He thought so. With the strength of the Mega Thunder Pokémon, Wang Lu can easily defeat the last two Pokémon. But now, with just one ancient pterosaur, he felt extremely troublesome. Because from the ancient pterosaur, he felt the powerful Hideki power that is not weaker than Mega Thunder Pokémon. At this time, he couldn't help but be thankful that he can use Mega Evolution. If it's just Thunder Pokémon, I'm afraid it will be crushed by the ancient pterosaur. This guy Wang Lu is really terrible. He obviously has no family inheritance, but he has the power of Wave Guide. With his own talent alone, he has reached this level. So scary. Unknowingly, Lei Jian also gradually recognized Wang Lu's strength, and he even admired Wang Lu a little bit. But the arrow is on the string and has to be fired. Even now, he will never admit defeat. Up, Thunder Pokémon, use Thunderbolt. Facing the powerful ancient pterosaurs, Lei Pokémon has long been fighting. Hearing this, Lei Pokémon flashed out immediately, and splashed high through the run-up, while pounced on the ancient pterosaur, and released Thunderbolt to attack the ancient pterosaur. Chapter 67. Victory. The Final. Facing the powerful attack from Mega Thunder Pokémon, the ancient pterosaur looked very contemptuous, as if it didn't care at all. Sure enough, it turned sideways and easily avoided the Thunderbolt. To know the speed of Aerodactyl alone can rank among the best among all Pokémon, let alone the ancient pterosaur. The ancient pterosaur is the real soaring in the sky totem, its speed is much faster than that of Aerodactyl. At present, it is far beyond the imagination of mega-rich Pokémon. As for Thunder Sword, it is even more incomprehensible. What? Lei Jian looked in disbelief. In terms of speed, his Mega Thunder Pokémon lost to rival for the first time. Ignoring Lei Jian's shock, Wang Lu shouted directly, "Ancient Pterosaur, use Dragon God to dive." The voice just fell. I saw a dragon-shaped shock wave instantly emerged from the primordial pterosaur, with a violent, almost condensed murderous aura, and slammed into the Mega Thunder Pokémon fiercely. At this time, the Mega Thunder Pokémon is still in mid-air, unable to dodge. Seeing that the archaic winged dragon was about to charge over, the Mega Thunder Pokémon couldn't help but show a look of horror on its face. There was a bang. The dragon god of the archaic winged dragon swooped down and hit the Mega Thunder Pokémon hard. That powerful power caused the Mega Thunder Pokémon to fly out like a cannonball. Then he fell heavily to the ground. Ancient Pterosaur, use Stone Edge. Wang Lu ordered again. Thunder Pokémon, use Double Team. Facing Wang Lu's attack, Lei Jian shouted subconsciously. But when the Mega Thunder Pokémon revealed dozens of incarnations, he suddenly felt something was wrong. But now it's too late to regret. Really? The Stone Edge of the ancient pterosaur completely ignored the avatar, and slammed into the Mega Thunder Pokémon, and once again sent the Mega Thunder Pokémon flying, screaming in pain. Stone Edge is a rock-type ultimate move, and it can easily hit vital points, and the damage will be surprisingly high. This time, the Mega Thunder Pokémon was clearly seriously injured. If it hadn't been much ahead in level, I'm afraid it would have passed out by now. Damn, I even forgot, he is the Wave Guide hero. Lei Jian complained endlessly and regretted it too late. In fact, Tian Lu is not just a Wave Guide hero. The Wave Guide hero can detect blindness, but that's just the Wave Guide hero's own detection. If the Wave Guide hero wants his Pokémon to achieve this effect, he must have enough bonds with the Pokémon to reach the realm of spiritual communication. To achieve this level of bondage is by no means easy, and it is no less difficult than using Mega Evolution. Wang Lu has just conquered the ancient pterosaur. The reason why he has reached this level of bond with the ancient pterosaur so quickly is simply the effect of the power of controlling the dragon. The power of Wave Guide. The power of dragon control. Wang Lu possesses these two abilities at the same time, so he is so powerful. Of course, it is limited to dragon Pokémon. At present, although the bond between Wang Lu and Electivire, Mitsumi, including Zapdos and Celebi is not low, it has indeed not reached the level of spiritual connection. If Electivire, Mitsumi, or Zapdos, or Celebi were fighting just now, and the opponent used shadow clones, Wang Lu would not be able to help them break it. Thunder Pokémon, while using agility to disrupt rival, use Thunderbolt to attack continuously. Thunder Sword ordered. Hearing this, Mega Thunder Pokémon took action immediately. Pity. The speed of the ancient pterosaur is still too fast. What's more, it's still in the sky, making it difficult for Mega Thunder Pokémon's attacks to hit. The archaic winged dragon always spits out 1 or 2 dragon breaths through the Mega Thunder Pokémon's attacks to effectively consume rival. About half a minute later, the Mega Thunder Pokémon was injured all over and was panting. Wang Lu naturally would not miss this opportunity. He waved his hand and shouted directly, "Kill it, archaic pterosaur, use Dragon God Dive. Call out." I saw a violent dragon-shaped shockwave emerging from the ancient pterosaur again, carrying a strong murderous intent, and wolf-like collision towards the Mega Thunder Pokémon. As the terrifying figure of the archaic winged dragon continued to enlarge in its pupils, the Mega Thunder Pokémon trembled all over and wanted to escape, but was unable to move. With a bang, the winner was announced. After falling down, the Mega Thunder Pokémon also transformed back into a Thunder Pokémon. Ray Pokémon is out of battle. Competition is over. Let us congratulate the contestants for successfully advancing to the finals. As the voice of the host fell, the scene boiled instantly. Wang Lu, congratulations, but I will defeat you next time. Lei Jian came over and said dully. Wang Lu smiled faintly and did not take Lei Jian's words to heart. He is a man with a system. He is growing faster than Norman. Thunder Sword cannot beat him today, and the gap will only get bigger in the future. The next game is the 3rd place. Lei Jian and Ma Teng compete for 3rd place in the freshman competition. But here's the interesting thing. When the game started, Lei Jian disappeared directly. Obviously, Lei Jian didn't bother to compete for 3rd place. Since he couldn't win the championship, he left directly. So, Ma Teng lay down directly to win, with a smile on his face. After all, his strength is not as good as Lei Jian, and his family background is not as good as Fu Jian. For him, it is undoubtedly a very good thing to achieve better rankings and get better rewards. Because there is no need to play in the quarter-finals. The final, Wang Love's Mirong Shui, will be held ahead of schedule. As for Pokémon's stamina, there is a Pokémon repair machine in the academy, and Tian Lu and Mirong Shui have already repaired it. Classmate Wang Lu, although you are very strong, I will definitely defeat you, money. Mirong Shui said seriously. Along the way, she rarely lost a game, let alone lost to her peers. And Wang Lu's strength really put a lot of pressure on her. But now, in order to defeat Wang Lu, she has made full preparations. Is it? Wang Lu smiled slightly, and immediately took out a luxury ball and threw it out. Let's go into battle, Haxorus. Seeing Haxorus, Mirong Shui also sent out her own Pokémon. I'll leave it to you for the first game. Go, Ninetales. White light flashed. An ice blue, very beautiful looking Ninetales suddenly appeared on Mirong Shui's field. This is Ice Ninetales, the Alola Ninetales in the original novel, not a shiny Pokémon. Ninetales. Attribute, Ice plus Fairy. Level, 58, Elite. Qualification, Orange. Chapter 68. Ice Ninetales, Mirong Shui's powerful strength. In this world, of course there is no Alola or Galar region. But in this world, there are also many secret realms and ruins with different living environments. Like the original book, many Pokémon survive and reproduce in different environments. In order to cater to the environment, the genes of their offspring will gradually change. Over time, the same Pokémon has different forms, different habits, and even different attributes and powers. Not to mention normal Pokémon. Even the legendary 3 holy birds, Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno, also have different forms. Oh! It turned out to be the rare Ice Ninetales. This Ice Ninetales is the first time for Mirong Shui to use it in a conference. It can be seen that she has carefully studied the lineup of mainland players. Mirong Shui is really a girl who is serious, hardworking, and has a strong desire to win. Then, how should Wang Lu deal with such a powerful character? Seeing that both Wang Lu and Mirong Shui sent their own Pokémon, the host also started to warm up, and the battle was imminent. Certainly. Because of the lottery, Wang Lu had the right to attack first, and Mirong Shui could not attack first without authorization. It turned out to be Ice Ninetales, and the level is still very high. 11. Glancing at the attribute panel of Bing Ninetales, Wang Lu dare not underestimate it. Ice Ninetales also has Ice plus Fairy attribute. Fairy type alone is enough to be immune to Dragon Skills 317. That is to say, Ice Ninetales is very contran Pokémon in terms of attributes. Also, as host said, Mirong Shui did study Wang Lu's lineup carefully. But Wang Lu smiled slightly, and shouted at Haxorus, "Go, Haxorus, use Dragon Tail!" Roar! Heard the words. With a roar, Haxorus spun around sharply, and then used the sword dance to upgrade Li Huang. Afterwards, it darted out, splashing high halfway, and saw an orberg-like ray of light appearing on the long tail instantly. Just like that, Haxorus swiped Orberga's tail fiercely towards the Ice Ninetales. Steel grams Ice, grams Fairy. If this Orberg tail hits, the damage will be quadruple, and the effect will be mega. However, facing Haxorus' attack, Mirong Shui looked very calm, and said to herself, "Ninetales, after avoiding it, use Dazzling Gleam." Finished talking. Ice Ninetales high splash, while avoiding Iron Tail, saw its 9 tails erected high in mid-air, and released a magic flash at the same time. This Fairy-type magic flash is very effective against Dragon-type Pokémon, which made Haxorus very uncomfortable, and he couldn't help stretching out his arms to block his eyes. Seeing Haxorus defend like this, a smile flashed across Mirong Shui's face, and she said, "Now, Ninetales, use Blizzard." Call. After landing, Ice Ninetales immediately opened its mouth to spit out a powerful blizzard, and blew towards Haxorus fiercely. This Ice Ninetales is very powerful, its blizzard's attack range is too large, Haxorus is difficult to dodge. Wang Lu directly shouted, "Haxorus, use Sword Dance to defend." What? Mirong Shui was startled when she heard this. Actually, this is just an attempt by Wang Lu. In Wang Lu's view, when Sword Dance is powerful enough, it should be possible to dance Twister directly for defense. In that case, it is the combo skill of Sword Dance plus Twister. Improve your strength while defending, you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Unfortunately, Wang Lu still overestimated Haxorus. After hearing Wang Lu's order, Haxorus spun rapidly, but when it turned itself dizzy, it only caused 1 or 2 gusts of wind. This wind is not as strong as a whirlwind, let alone a twister. Not long. Haxorus was frozen into ice by the mighty blizzard. In the ice, Haxorus's eyes were swirling, and he had already passed out. Haxorus is out of combat. Host announced the result. Wang Lu smiled and didn't pay much attention to this failure. Moreover, this attempt also has a receipt. Although Haxorus failed, it did dance with Sword Dance. If you practice more, maybe you can dance Twister. If it is really practiced, the 2-axe battle will be greatly improved. After all, crispy skin is its only weakness. Once it masters a superb defense method, it will not be said to be invincible, at least it will be rampant in the world. That girl is so strong. Seeing her son being sent to the city first, Tian Hui became somewhat worried. Well, she is the daughter of God after all. Zhao Hongyi nodded and said with a smile, however, Wang Lu defeated her brother before. What? Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui were shocked when they heard the words. Who is Mirong Shui's elder brother? Of course they know, that is the son of the Mirong family, the only son of southern elite Mirong Hai, the famous Mirong Bai. Mirong Bai is so powerful that he can be called the #1 person of the younger generation in Xianyuan City. How could his own son defeat such a powerful person? In a daze, Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui suddenly thought of something. Zapdos. Celebi. Dang! My son actually owns the legendary Pokémon, and more than one. Thinking of this, Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui still have an unreal feeling until now. Looking at the field again, Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui are not worried at all, and the son seems to have said that he has the certainty of victory. That being the case, they just have to enjoy the game. What a powerful blizzard! Unexpectedly, he killed the mighty Haxorus in one move. Then, how will player Wang Lu deal with this beautiful Ice Ninetales? The host was amazed, and at the same time, he also asked Wang Lu questions. Go, Tian Mi Hall. Reclaiming Haxorus, Wang Lu directly sent out a second Pokémon. Is it Electivire? A good choice, at least there is no disadvantage in terms of attribute. Host talked eloquently. But before he finished speaking, Mirong Shui directly took back the Ice Nine Tails, immediately making the host speechless. To know. Every time you take the initiative to replace Pokémon, you will lose the right to attack first. On this basis, according to the rules of this freshman competition, in the same game, each player has and only 2 rights to actively replace Pokémon. But now, Mirong Shui just used it once. It can be seen that she takes Ice Ninetales very seriously, and wants to use it to deal with Wang Lu's more Pokémon. After taking back the Ice Ninetales, Mirong Shui immediately took out the next moment luxury ball. Next, please, go, Swampert. With a flash of white light, a strong Swampert suddenly appeared on Mirong Shui's arena. Chapter 69. Fierce Confrontation, Electiver vs Swampert. Swampert. Attribute Water plus Ground. Level 56, Elite. Qualification, Orange. Contestant Mirong Shui's second Pokémon is actually a Swampert. This Swampert, too, is appearing for the first time. It can be seen that in order to deal with player Wang Lu, player Mirong Shui has reorganized a new lineup. Host exclaimed, he felt terrible about the Mirong family's financial resources. Mirong Shui breeds a large number of Pokémon at the same time, which certainly reflects her outstanding trainer abilities. But more importantly, her family's strong financial resources are also clearly revealed. As mentioned before, Swampert has a very special attribute, Water plus Ground. Such a wonderful combination makes Swampert almost without weaknesses. There is only one weakness, and that is Grass, and it is 4 times weaker than Grass. Swampert is strong, but it can also be easily defeated by Grass-type Pokémon of the same level. But after Mirong Shui's research, she discovered that Wang seemed to have no Grass-type Pokémon. In fact, it seems that he doesn't even have a Pokémon that can use Grass-type special moves. Then, she confidently and boldly added Swampert to her new lineup specifically designed to fight Wang Lu. In her opinion, facing Wang Lu, Swampert not only has no weaknesses, but can also counter the powerful Electivire. Mirong Shui, my Electivire will not be countered by you so easily. Wang Lu smiled slightly and looked very confident. After all, his Electivire has learned many skills and has a wide range of strikes. Just 3 Farmer Punches, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, and Freeze Punch can handle many situations. So, even without using electric skills, this Electivire is still very powerful. Electivire, use Noise. Wang Lu ordered. Noise can significantly reduce rivals' physical defense. This is very useful for Pokémon like Electivire, which is particularly good at physical attacks. Heard the words. Electivire immediately released a harsh noise, which made Swampert very uncomfortable and his physical defense was greatly reduced. Mirong Shui couldn't help but frown. Now that Swampert was hit by the noise, she was as brittle as a piece of paper in front of the powerful Electivire, but she still shouted, Swampert, use the mud bomb. Heard the words. Swampert immediately opened its mouth, spit out a large number of mud bombs, and bombarded the Electivire on the opposite side. Use Protect. Wang Lu ordered promptly. Heard the words. Electivire immediately stretched out his hands and released a golden barrier, blocking all the incoming mud bombs at once. Electivire, use Brick Break. Wang Lu ordered again. Furious fighting energy gathering. I saw Electivire's right hand emitting a strong white light, sprinting at high speed, and slashing towards Swampert. For a time, Mirong Shui was under great pressure. I have to say that Swampert is indeed a very powerful Pokémon. However, compared to many other powerful Pokémon, it has one major flaw, that is, its speed is very normal. Right now, compared with Electivire, which is good at agility and looks very agile, its speed seems even slower. Facing Electivire's close combat, it was difficult to dodge, so Mirong Shui almost had no choice but to hit it hard. But if it really had to be fought head-on, Mirong Shui would have no confidence at all when facing the powerful Electivire. Not to mention, Swampert had a lot of defense weakened by Electivire's noise before. As Electivire's strong figure continued to enlarge in his pupils, Mirong Shui gritted her teeth, feeling deeply that Wang Lu was powerful, but she also had to make a choice quickly. Swampert, use the arm hammer to attack. Heard the words. Swampert immediately raised his arm, and with a violent force, he slammed it down on the charging Electivire. Boom! The two powerful energies collided, causing a violent explosion and smoke rising up to 10 feet. Oh, what a fierce duel! Host shouted. Soon, the smoke cleared. I saw that Electivire was standing firmly. But Swampert had fallen down, his eyes were in the shape of a whirlpool, and he was completely unconscious. Swampert is incapacitated to fight. Host directly announced the results, and then said, then next, how should player Mirong Shui deal with Wang Lu's powerful Electivire? This Electivire is indeed very strong. Mirong Shui frowned, thinking about the border. By studying Wang Lu's lineup, Mirong Shui discovered that Wang Lu seemed to be particularly fond of dragon-type Pokémon, Haxorus, Dragonair, and the archaic pterosaur that had just been exposed before. 0, please give me flowers. Although Mirong Shui was not sure that the primordial pterodactyl was a dragon-type Pokémon, but she did guess so because she saw the Emperor's dragon-type Chuezao being used when commanding the primordial pterodactyl in the main continent. In order to defeat Wang Lu, she added a large number of fairy-type Pokémon to the new lineup and prepared to slay the dragon. As for Electivire, she only joined Swampert. She originally thought that Swampert was immune to the electric type, and with such a large attribute counter, he should be able to defeat Electivire. But it turns out that she still underestimated the strength of Wang Lu's Electivire. Not only was Swampert defeated miserably, Electivire probably didn't even use up much of his energy. 0. I have no choice but to send you out in advance. Mirong Shui took out a new luxury ball, and her pretty face suddenly showed strong confidence. Go, Imbor. White light flashed. A standing figure with blue flames around its neck, like a big pig wearing a blue flame scarf, suddenly appeared on Mirong Shui's playing field. This time Imbor, whose appearance resembles Zhu Beiji, is the final evolution of Tepig, the 5th-generation fire-type royal family. Imbor. Attribute Fire plus Fighting. Level, 65, Library Owner. Qualification, Light Gold. Oh, Imbor. Contestant Mirong Shui's trump card, Flash Imbor, is finally here. Host shouted excitedly. Like the Thunder Sword, Mirong Shui also has 2 trump cards. Needless to say, the first trump card is Duolong Bart. The second trump card is the Flash Imbor in front of you. No matter what lineup Mirong Shui forms, Duolong Barto and Flash Imbor, these 2 trump cards, will definitely join in. Flash Imbor, Flash Electivire. Flash Duel, everyone is going to be in for a treat. However, facing Imbor, will player Wang Lu continue to use Electivire, or will he switch to Milotic? Host couldn't help but question. After all, facing Imbor, Electivire is evenly matched in terms of attribute, with no one competing against the other. But if you replace it with Milotic, then attribute will be very powerful. Chapter 70. The Ultimate Showdown, Electivire's Imbor. Go, Electivire, use Thunder. Wang Lu directly responded to host's question with actions. To know. This Imbor is Mirong Shui's trump card Pokémon, so strong that normal's attribute counter has no effect. Yes, it is afraid of water, but it also has the electricity type skill to overcome water. What Thunder Punch, Wild Charge, etc. are all at your fingertips. That being the case, Wang Lu might as well let Electivire fight. Heard the words. Electivire immediately released a powerful thunderbolt, roaring in the air like the Brontosaurus normal, and ruthlessly pounced towards the opposite Imbor. Facing Electivire's thunder, Mirong Shui didn't panic, obviously full of confidence in Imbor. Take it, use bulk up. Bang! Thunder, hit Imbor hard. In Lake Wang's 267, Imbor grimaced in pain. But at the same time, it also bulged its muscles to make its own strength and defense rise steadily. Use Flame Charge. Following Mirong Shui's order, Imbor instantly turned into a huge blue fireball, and charged towards the opposite Electivire with a terrifying high temperature. Good. Because it's a shiny Pokémon, this Imbor's flame also turns into a blue flame. So fast. Wang Lu couldn't help being surprised. This flame charge is naturally less powerful than Flare Blitz. However, flame charge can greatly increase the speed when used. Mirong Shui must have used flame charge for this reason, to accumulate speed first, so as to pave the way for the next onslaught. Electivire, use Thunder Punch. With one order, Wang Lu directly chose Hard Gang. Bang a loud bang. The two powerful energies collided, causing an explosion directly, and the smoke and dust rose. After the smoke dissipated, I saw that Imbor and Electivire were wrestling with rival. As a result, the strength of the two is comparable. Oh, what a violent collision! Host shouted. At this time, Mirong Shui also gave another order, Imbor, use flamethrower. The voice just fell. Imbor suddenly let go, borrowing the thrust from the Electivire to retreat violently, the solace of his feet ploughed two long marks on the ground. At the same time, Imbor opened his mouth wide, and suddenly ejected a huge, blue high-temperature pillar of fire, roaring like a fire dragon normal in the air, submerging the Electivire in an instant. Roar! When the blue flame dissipated, Electivire was wounded all over, but his momentum became more and more courageous. It roared loudly, and at the same time Taunt hooked his fingers towards Imbor. Seeing such a scene, Imbor also took a mouthful, spitting out a wisp of sparks. Obviously, neither of these two powerful guys would submit to the other. Amazing! In the auditorium, Cao Lai stared at Imbor on the field with his eyes shining. His trump card is a sunburst pig, which will evolve into Imbor in the future. Seeing how powerful Mirong Shui's Imbor is, Cao Lai also faintly looked forward to it. After my Chaoyang pig evolves in the future, it should be so powerful. 2. He was just thinking too much. Mirong Shui's Flash Imbor is far more talented than Normal's Imbor. And Cao Lai's Chaoyang pig is only a blue aptitude, with a thin body, which is far inferior to Normal's Chaoyang pig. After evolving into Imbor in the future, among all the Imbors, it will also be the bottom of the existence. Even so, Cao Lai's Chaoyang pig, when he was still a tepig, his parents also spent a total of 50,000 real coins to get it. This is the gap between an ordinary boy and a proud girl. This is reality. Student Wang Lu, Imbor, and I haven't encountered such a powerful rival for a long time. Next, we will attack with all our strength. Mirong Shui smiled slightly, straightened her body, and slammed forward fiercely. Imbor, use Flare Blitz. Mirong Shui looked serious, unexpectedly cute. Seeing Mirong Shui like this, many audience members couldn't help being stunned. They never thought that Mirong Shui, who has always been quiet and elegant, full of goddess style, would have such a lively, lovely, and heroic side. Oh my god, that girl is so cute that I even consider her my daughter-in-law. Tian Hui almost jumped up, looking at Mirong Shui with gentle eyes. However, although Mirong Shui is very cute, her pet Imbor is not cute at all. At this moment, it is full of violent aura from top to bottom. Boom! After spontaneously using bulk up, I saw a raging fire emanating from Imbor's body. Yes, it was still a blue flame. The fire grows higher and higher, and it has surpassed 10 feet in an instant. Just like that, Imbor rushed out madly, heading towards Electivire takedown with a mighty power that could be called destructive. Through the foreshadowing of the previous bulk up and flame charge. At this time, Imbor uses Flare Blitz. Its strength and speed reached the peak of unprecedented. All of Mirong Shui's foreshadowing was just for Imbor to hit this powerful blow now. Interesting. Sensing the terrifying power coming from Imbor at this time, Wang Lu couldn't help raising his eyebrows, and shouted directly, Electivire, use the most powerful thunder punch. Shishi. When Electivire heard this, he immediately used charge spontaneously. At this moment, the power of his body doubled directly. Its momentum soared, and on the front of its fists, violent thunder and lightning gradually emerged. Just like that, facing Imbor's Flare Blitz, Electivire used Thunder Punch with both hands to slam it up. Boom! A terrifying explosion sounded, the smoke and dust rose up to 3 feet, and gusts of wind were set off like shock waves, sweeping away in all directions. Wang Lu 4.3 and Mirong Shui couldn't help stretching out their hands to block, even so, their hair was blown up. Okay, what a terrifying power! Host exclaimed loudly, the scene boiled instantly, and many audience members couldn't help shouting. When the smoke clears, both Electivire and Imbor fell down and passed out completely. Electivire, Imbor, and lost the ability to fight at the same time. Host announced the result directly, and a series of loud voices came from the scene again. Day, as expected of the final, it's too intense, too exciting, so cool. Too strong, both of them are too strong. Yeah, it's not their strongest trump card yet, it's just scary. 666. Love love love. Chapter 71. The horror reappears, the Dragon Barto. At the moment, Wang Lu and Mirong Shui lost two Pokémon at the same time. Because it was Wang Lu who attacked first, then the host judged Mirong Shui to attack first. Mirong Shui nodded in agreement, and sent Bing Ninetales to play again. At this time, Mirong Shui's expression was still very cautious. Compared to Mirong Shui, Wang Lu's expression was very relaxed. After all, Imbor belongs to Mirong Shui's trump card. As for Electivire, although it is also Wang Lu's powerful combat power, it is far from reaching the level of trump card. The gap between them is still huge. This is also the source of Wang Lu's self-confidence. Let's go, Mitsumi! Facing Ice Ninetales, Wang Lu's third Pokémon, chose Mitsumi to play because water resists ice. In terms of attribute, Mitsumi still has a bit of Conti. Not to mention, Mitsumi's level is leading, and his qualifications are even more crushing. Are you going to use water to resist ice? Looking at Wang Lu's Flash Milotic on the field, Mirong Shui smiled slightly, and waved her hand directly and shouted, "Since 04 is like this, Ninetales, use Dazzling Gleam." The voice just fell. I saw that the 9 beautiful tails of Bing Ninetales automatically released a series of dazzling beams of light without wind, and went straight to the opposite Mitsumi. Bang bang bang! Mitsumi was hit by Dazzling Gleam, and as a result, it seemed like nothing at all. What a strong defense! Seeing that Mitsumi was safe and sound, Mirong Shui couldn't help being surprised. Good! Dazzling Gleam is a special attack, and Milotic just has extremely high special defense, not to mention Mitsumi has such a high level and aptitude. Dazzling Gleam, if Mitsumi is hurt, then there is a problem. Very well, rush up and use the hydro pump to attack. Wang Lu ordered. The violent energy of the water system gathers. I saw Mitsumi spitting out a huge high-pressure hydro pump as he approached rival quickly, and blasted fiercely towards Ninetales in front of him. Sensing the berserk power contained in Mitsumi's hydro pump, Mirong Shui was taken aback, and hastily shouted, "Get out of the way, Ninetales!" Unfortunately, she still overestimated the speed of Ninetales. Facing Mitsumi who was already rushing in front of him, Ninetales couldn't avoid it at all. With a bang, the hydro pump hit directly, and that powerful force directly knocked Ninetales into the air. Wow, what a powerful hydro pump from Milotic! Wang Lu's Milotic, although not as strong as Electivire, is still very strong. Host said excitedly, causing many audience members to nod repeatedly. In the eyes of the vast majority of viewers, both Electivire and Mitsumi are too strong, worthy of shiny Pokémon. Take the lead, Mitsumi, use Aqua Tail. With Wang Lu's order, Mitsumi's Aqua Tail swept out frantically. Ninetales didn't dare to fight hard, so he could only flee in embarrassment, but was hit by Aqua Tail 3 times in a row and fell down directly. Ninetales out of combat. Host announced the result. What a strong Milotic! Mirong Shui was completely shocked. When she studied Wang Lu's lineup before, she didn't pay much attention to Mitsumi. But now that I have actually played it, I know that Mitsumi's strength is not inferior to Electivire at all. After taking Ninetales back, Mirong Shui was silent for a moment before finally dispatching a new Pokémon. Did not expect. The 4th Pokémon she sent out was directly her strongest trump card, Doran Barto. Duolong Barto. Attribute, Dragon plus Ghost. Level 72, Quasi-Elite. Qualification, Light Gold. Oh! It's Bartle, the dragon. I didn't expect that player Mirongxu sent Duolong Barchuo so early. Could it be that she has other cards? Looking at Duolong Barchuo on the Mirong snow field, the host was taken aback and shouted excitedly. What a high level! Glancing at the attribute panel of Duolong Barchuo, Wang Lu was also taken aback. As for the Duolong Barchuo with the light golden aptitude, Wang Lu didn't respond at all. After all, Duolong Barchuo is the 9th generation quasi-god. The most common quasi-gods probably all have the aptitude of orange. And Mirong Shui's Duolong Barchuo is inherited from the family, and it is normal to have higher qualifications. Woo! With the appearance of Duolong Barchuo, Mitsumi also felt the huge pressure. It seemed to be bold, so it couldn't help but yelled at Duolong Barchuo opposite. Only. As the only Stephanie son among Wang Lu's many Pokémon, Mitsumi has an elegant temperament, but her roar lacks momentum and courage. The Duolong Bart on the opposite side didn't respond at all, and stuck out his tongue at Mitsumi in a taunt way, which immediately made Mitsumi furious. "Calm down, Mitsumi, use hydro pump to attack," Wang Lu ordered. Heard the words. Mitsumi immediately opened his mouth and spit out a high-pressure hydro pump, and ruthlessly blasted towards the opposite Doran Bart. However, facing Mitsumi's attack, Mirong Shui smiled confidently, and shouted at Duolong Bartuo, after dodging, "Use Dragon God to dive." Sure enough, Duolong Barto swayed slightly in mid-air, easily dodging Mitsumi's hydro pump attack. At the same time, Doran Baruto suddenly released a strong murderous aura, flashed out, and slammed into Mitsumi fiercely. Forced by Doran Bart's aura, Mitsumi was covered in cold sweat for a while, and wanted to avoid it, but her body refused to obey. With a bang, Mitsumi was knocked far away by Doran Bart and flew out of 213, fell directly to the ground, and passed out. Milotic is incapacitated. Host announced the result directly. It's the Dragon God diving again, another one-hit kill. What a strong multi-dragon Barto. Okay, in the blink of an eye, contestant Wang Lu and contestant Mirong Shui have already lost 3 Pokémon. Since the start of the competition, against the overwhelming strength of Wang Lu, Mirong Xu is the only strong existence that is evenly matched with him. But the next game will be even more exciting. Host yelled, trying his best to incite the atmosphere of the scene, which made the audience boil instantly. What a powerful multi-dragon! And its speed is too fast. Dragonair is not rival at all. It is estimated that Wang Lu will send the ancient pterosaur to play. In the auditorium, Zhao Hong'ai made a guess, which made Wang Hongguang, Tian Hui and Cao Li nod their heads again and again. Go, primordial pterosaur! Sure enough, Wang Lu's 4th Pokémon sent out the ancient pterodactyl. Hong'ai, Auntie thinks that you really understand my family, why don't you marry him as your wife? Tian Hui teased while holding Zhao Hong'ai's hand. Zhao Hong'ai blushed pretty. Cao Li looked at Tian Hui, then at Wang Lu in the arena, feeling a burst of envy in his heart. If I had a mother like this, I wouldn't be single until now. Chapter 72. Primordial Pterosaur vs. Duolong Bartuo. The Archean Pterosaur, Wang Lu's Archean Pterosaur appears again. So, what kind of collision will there be between this prehistoric Pokémon, the ancient soaring in the sky totem, and the powerful quasi-god Dragon Barto? Seeing the ancient pterosaur and the multi-dragon Barto appear on the same field, host was completely excited. However, not long after the host was excited, Mirong Shui took back the multi-dragon Bart, and at the same time sent the 5th Pokémon to appear. Go, Gardevoir. Gardevoir. Attribute, Superpower plus Fairy. Level 56, Elite. Qualification, Orange. Oh haha, player Mirong Shui still chose to take back Duolong Bart to preserve his strength. At the same time, send out Gardevoir. Gardevoir, who has Fairy type, can be immune to Dragon type tricks, so how should player Wang Lu deal with it? Host shouted loudly. Humph, my ancient pterosaur doesn't only have dragon skills. Wang Lu sneered and shouted, Ancient pterosaur, use Stone Edge. As soon as Wang Lu finished speaking, the archaic winged dragon flicked the dragon tail, summoning sharp stones and shooting towards the Gardevoir on the opposite side. Facing the attack of the ancient pterosaur, Mirong Shui's eyes lit up. Gardevoir, use confusion to fight back. Heard the words. Gardevoir's eyes immediately turned scarlet, releasing a powerful confusion, trying to bounce the stone edge back. However, the ancient pterodactyl's stone edge was too fierce and powerful. Its confusion, let alone rebounding, is completely dissipated after just blocking it for one breath. Bang bang bang! Stone edge hit Gardevoir hard. With just one move, Gardevoir was instantly killed. Gardevoir has lost the ability to fight. Host announced the result. How can it be? Mirong Shui was shocked. She never expected that Wang Lu's ancient pterosaur was so powerful. Mirong Shui took back Gardevoir and sent out her 6th Pokémon, Go, Lapras. With a flash of white light, Lapras, with a blue body and grey hard shell, suddenly appeared on Mirong Shui's exhibition hall. Lapras. Attribute, Water plus Ice. Level 54, Elite. Qualification, Orange. Mirong Shui's new lineup, with the exception of the 2 trump cards Duolong and Imbor, as well as Swampert, can be called a dragon-slaying team. There is Fairy, which is immune to the dragon type, and there is the Ice type, which is particularly effective against the dragon type. It can be seen that in order to deal with Wang Lu, she really put in a lot of effort and spent a lot of effort. However, she still underestimated Wang Lu's power to control the dragon, because she underestimated Wang Lu's dragon picture Pokémon. The level is too low. Glancing at Lapra's attribute panel, Wang Lu smiled faintly. Although the level of the ancient pterosaur is also very low, it is only level 52 now. However, the ancient pterosaur's qualifications are too terrifying, and its combat power far exceeds this level. Primeval Pterodactyl, Li. Wang Lu gave an order, and the archaic pterosaur suddenly opened its mouth wide and spit out a bright silver beam of light, heading straight towards Lapras on the opposite side. Feeling the powerful power of the ancient power, Murong Shui was horrified. Unfortunately, Lapras was slower and she had no confidence in avoiding it, so she directly chose to carry it down and use the freezing light. Murong Shui guessed that the ancient pterosaur was a flying dragon. If that was the case, the freezing light would do 4 times the damage. Boom! However, Lapras didn't hit at all. The ancient pterosaur instantly killed it with one shot of ancient power. What a powerful ancient pterosaur! It can directly penetrate 2 and kill rival in a row. Then, Murong Shui will finally be left with the last Duolong Barto, and she will have no way out. Host shouted excitedly. At the same time, Murong Shui also sent Duolong Barchuo to play again. It's up to you next, Bart. Barto shouted. Doran Barto is her last trump card, her last support. Although, she doesn't have the Mega Evolution Stone from Bart the Dragon, so she can't use Mega Evolution. However, her multi-dragon Barto has a very high level. In her opinion, even if facing the Mega Thunder Pokémon of Thunder Sword, multi-dragon Barto can still win. More importantly, Doran Barto also has the ability to fly and is extremely fast. Even when faced with the powerful archaic winged dragon, it will never be as passive as Thunder Sword's Mega Thunder Pokémon. Ancient Pterosaur, be careful, the opponent is very high level. Wang Lu reminded, the ancient pterosaur roared immediately, with fighting intent in its eyes. Okay, come on, use Dragon God Dive. Wang Lu gave the order. Boom! The violent dragon energy gathers. In an instant, a dragon-shaped shockwave appeared on the ancient pterosaur's body, and at the same time it released a terrifying murderous aura. While intimidating Duolong, it slammed into Duolong fiercely. However, the level of the multi-dragon opposite was so high that it was directly immune to the murderous aura of the ancient pterosaur. After avoiding it, use Dragon Tail. Murong Shui shouted confidently. As expected, Duolong avoided it, and with a backhand Dragon Tail, he hit the ancient pterosaur hard on the face, making the ancient pterosaur's eyes flash with stars, and at the same time, his heart became even more angry and full of fighting spirit. Duolong Bart, use Freezing Light. Murong Shui took the opportunity to order. The violent ice energy gathers. Duolong instantly spat out 3 intersecting rays of freezing light, carrying the biting cold air, and rushed straight towards the ancient pterosaur. Facing these cold freezing lights, fear flashed in the eyes of the ancient pterosaur. As a flying dragon, it is more afraid of the cold than ordinary dragon Pokémon. Seeing the flash of fear in the eyes of the ancient pterosaur, Murong Shui became even more convinced that the ancient pterosaur was a flying dragon. With a bang sound, the freezing light accurately hit the ancient pterosaur. For a time, the ancient pterosaur suffered heavy losses and howled loudly. It withstood a full blow from Duolong Barto, and the damage was quadrupled, but it still did not fall. This, Li Qunhao, can only show that its blood is too strong. When the bloodline strength reaches the Golden Legend, many such Pokémon have a characteristic that other Pokémon do not have, that is, their physical strength is extremely amazing and unfathomable. Amazing physical strength. Seeing that the ancient pterosaur had endured such a heavy blow and still hadn't fallen down, Murong Shui's eyes flashed with shock, and then she smiled confidently and shouted, "But it's over next. Bart, the multi-dragon, use Dragon God Dive to give it the last blow." Hit. The voice just fell. I saw a strong dragon-shaped shockwave emerging from Duolong's body, releasing his murderous aura while heading towards the ancient pterosaur takedown. Certainly. It's the same as Duolong being immune to the murderous aura of the ancient pterosaur. This time, the ancient pterosaur was also immune to Duolong's murderous intent. After all, these two, one is crushing in terms of qualifications, and the other is crushing in level. In terms of momentum alone, they are not much different. We also use Dragon God Dive. Wang Lu shouted directly. Chapter 73. Salamence, it's your turn. Boom. The same is the Dragon God Dive. The ancient pterosaur and the multi-dragon Barchuo collided fiercely, and for a while, a huge explosion occurred. The terrifying air wave is like a shock wave, sweeping out in all directions. Both Wang Lu and Mirong Shui couldn't help stretching out their hands to block. Okay, what an amazing explosion! Host exclaimed. Soon, the smoke cleared. Everyone looked around. I saw Duolong Barchuo still floating in mid-air. Although he was injured all over his body, his momentum and fighting spirit remained undiminished. On the other hand, the ancient pterosaur was already lying on the ground. Its whole body was already covered with scars, although it still wanted to struggle to stand up, but its body had no strength. After a few seconds, he finally fell down completely. The ancient pterosaur has lost the ability to fight. Host directly announced the result. It's fallen. It's unbelievable that such a powerful and terrifying primordial pterosaur has fallen. Right now, Wang Lu finally has only the last two Pokémon left. So, in the face of the mighty Duolong Barto, will Wang Lu send out Dragonair, or other new Pokémon? After the host finished speaking, the scene fell silent instantly. Everyone looked at Wang Lu nervously, waiting for 273 to make his decision. Smash! Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui also clenched their fists unconsciously, with nervous expressions on their faces. Mirong Shui was really too strong and brought too much pressure to them. Although they know that Wang Lu owns Zapdos and Celebi, but that is the bottom card after all, and cannot be easily exposed. If Zapdos and Celebi are excluded, can their son Wang Lu really defeat Mirong Shui? Can he really defeat the mighty multi-dragon Barchuo? Go ahead, Salamence, it's your turn. Mirong Shui's Duolong Barchuo is indeed very strong. If Dragonair is sent, it is estimated that it will be second. In this case, Wang Lu sent Salamence decisively. With a flash of white light, Salamence's black and huge body immediately landed on Wang Lu's arena. For a moment, the host and the audience were all stunned. It was extremely quiet. A weird atmosphere spread quickly. After several seconds, the host roared in shock. Flash Salamence! Unbelievable! Wang Lu's fifth Pokémon turned out to be, Flash Salamence. Flash Quasi-God. Whether it is rarity or power, it is comparable to the legendary beast. Incredible! Contestant Wang Lu actually owns a Flash Quasi-God. This is so enviable. The host was completely crazy, hysterical, and roared loudly regardless of the situation. I really knelt. From now on, Wang Lu is my idol. Awesome! Flash Salamence! I just peed. Little brother Wang Lu is so awesome, I love it. 666, in this situation, I can only 66666. 666, 6666. The audience seat was completely boiling with shock. Wang Lu, he actually has a Flash Salamence. In the audience, Zhao Hongii, Cao Lai, and Wang Lu's parents, Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui, were also shocked. All the faces were filled with disbelief. Zapdos. Celebi. Flash Salamence. Archaic Pterosaur. Damn it, why are you so awesome? How great would it be if I were half as good as you? At this time, Wang Hongguang almost roared in his heart. At the same time, his face was also full of pride and pride. His ultimate dream is to become a Pokémon master, but now that he is old, it is naturally impossible for him to realize it. He is certain that his son Wang Lu will definitely become a Pokémon master and bring glory to his ancestors. Son, you must marry 10 wives and help Lao Wang's family flourish in the future. What your father can't do, you can definitely do it. Tian Hui's heart was agitated. Seeing how awesome Wang Lu was, she wanted to make the decision for Wang Lu and bring Mirong Shui and Zhao Hongii over to be her daughter-in-law. Boss is awesome. Boss is so awesome. I'm convinced. Cao Lai's face was full of pride, and he felt deeply proud of his wise decision to appoint Wang Lu as his boss. At this time, on the playing field, Salamence stepped on the ground with all 4 feet, and did not fly up soaring in the sky. It raised its head high, and looked at Doran Bartua with contempt and deep disdain in his eyes. Yes, it is so crazy. Especially in the face of Duolong Barto, who is also a dragon Pokémon, it is even more arrogant. Oh my god, classmate Wang Lu, who is he? At this moment, Mirong Shui was already too shocked to speak. But the fight continues. Sensing the strong fighting spirit of Duolong Bartuo, Mirong Shui woke up suddenly and shouted loudly, "Come on, Duolong Bartuo, use the freezing light." Heard the words. Duolong Bart immediately opened his mouth and spit out 3 interlaced flashes of freezing light, carrying a bone-chilling cold air, and went straight to Salamence. Salamence looks like a fire dragon. That's right, it does have high adaptability to the fire element. Just by upgrading, you can learn a lot of fire element skills. But in reality, like Dragonite, it's actually a flying dragon. And since it is a flying dragon, it is extremely afraid of ice, and if it is hit by an ice flower casually, it will cause 4 times the damage. However, facing the freezing light of Duolong Bartuo, Wang Lu just smiled, "Salamence, block it for me." Heard the words. Salamence stretched out his wings decisively, and caught that ray of freezing light. As a result, he was almost unscathed. What? Mirong Shui was taken aback, her white teeth clenched the corners of her lips, she couldn't believe it. The scene in front of her almost touched her blind spot of knowledge. Take a full blow from her trump card, Doran Barto, and quadruple the damage. The Salamence opposite was actually unscathed? How can this be? Is it my own trump card? Is Duolong Bart too weak? No. It's that Salamence, it's too strong, too strong, too strong. After realizing this point, Mirong Shui aroused a strong fighting spirit instead. She has been a proud girl since she was a child, and there are few rivals among her peers. If it's the same age, then she has never met rival. Nowadays, how could she admit that there was such a big gap between herself and Wang Lu? Impossible, this is absolutely impossible. Multi-Dragon Bart, use Dragon God Dive. For a moment, Mirong Shui's momentum soared to the sky. Chapter 74. Crushing, the terrifying power of Salamence. Feeling the aura from his master, the multi-dragon Barto also showed an unprecedented fighting spirit. With a move of Dragon God, he dived and slammed into Salamence on the opposite side. Boom! The result was still the same, still easily blocked by Salamence. Even after suffering such a heavy blow, Salamence remained motionless, as if nothing happened. This strength is really terrifying. Wang Lu, this Salamence, has a powerful bloodline comparable to the 2nd and 3rd level divine beasts. It is currently only level 70, but it has strength comparable to God. As for Mirong Shui's multi-dragon Barto, he is considered an elite. There is a huge gap between them. It's incredible. Bart's unique skill, the Dragon God's Dive, has no effect. The gap between them is too big. Is this the power of Flash's quasi-god? Host shouted excitedly. How come? Mirong Shui's eyes widened in disbelief. However, faced with this result, Wang Lu just smiled. In his opinion, the blood-flying dragon should have such strong strength. Salamence, use flamethrower. Wang Lu ordered. Heard the words. Salamence immediately ejected an extremely huge pillar of high-temperature fire, which destroyed normal and severely knocked away the multi-dragon Barto. When Barto, the dragon, fell to the ground, his whole body was covered with burns. Originally, as a dragon-type Pokémon, Barto has twice the fire resistance. However, the gap between it and Salamence is too huge. Even if it has twice the fire resistance, it will still suffer heavy damage. No. It should be said that fortunately it has twice the fire resistance. Otherwise, Salamence's flamethrower might have killed it instantly. Salamence, give it the final blow, use Dragon Breath. Wang Lu ordered again. The violent Dragon Breath energy gathers. Heard the words. Salamence raised his head suddenly and sprayed out a black energy beam, like a normal laser cannon, sweeping indiscriminately in the direction of Duolong. Bang bang bang! I saw. Wherever the black dragon breath passed, the ground exploded and smoke and dust rose. Waves of terrifying air were set off, like shock waves, sweeping forward. Mirong Shui couldn't help but stretched out her hand to block, and it was messy in the wind. This 666. Is this dragon breath? I didn't know, I thought it was a destruction laser cannon. The burst of smoke and dust almost enveloped Mirong Xue's half of the arena. Salamence's dragon breath was so powerful that everyone present was shocked and turned their attention. What a terrible dragon breath! With such a blow, can Dragon Barto still hold on? Host also shouted loudly. Soon, the smoke cleared. I saw a series of big pits suddenly appeared on the playing field on Mirong Xue's side. There is no doubt that these big pits are all the work of Salamence, and it's just one shot of dragon breath. I saw. Doran Barto was lying in the center of the series of large pits, his eyes closed, and he was completely unconscious. Doran Barto has lost the ability to fight. The game is over, player Wang Lu wins. Let us congratulate player Wang Lu for winning first place in this freshman competition. As soon as host finished speaking, a carnival broke out on the scene. No doubt. Wang Lu completely conquered the audience with his strong strength. Wang Hongguang, Tian Hui, Zhao Hongii, Cao Lai, and many female fans at the scene also came to Wang Lu to share this joy with Wang Lu. Next. It's the award ceremony. Wang Lu, Mirong Xue and Ma Teng came on stage one after another. Wang Lu looked indifferent. After all, he came to this academy more just to practice his skills. He had no expectations from the beginning. In his opinion, it is a matter of course to win first place in this freshman competition. As for rewards, haha, what good rewards can there be for such a small competition? Compared with Wang Lu's indifference. At this time, Mirong Xue looked a little distracted. It was obvious that she still had not adjusted from the failure. As for Ma Teng, he is naturally the happiest. Because he got the third place for free. If the Thunder Sword is still there, he has no chance at all. Mirong Xue, you don't have to be like this, you can push me to this level, you should be proud. Wang Lu walked over and patted Mirong Xue on the shoulder, comforting him. Wang Hongguang, Tian Hui, Zhao Hongii, Cao Lai, including Ma Teng, were all dumbfounded. Especially Tian Hui, whose face was full of hatred. While strangling Wang Hongguang, she frantically accused her son of inheriting the straight male gene from his stupid father. Wang Hongguang wants to cry but has no tears. No matter how straight I am not as straight as him. 0, please give me flowers. Faced with Wang Lu's ingenious comfort, Mirong Xue was speechless at first, but soon showed a smile. In her opinion, although Wang Lu is a straight Orberg man who doesn't know how to please girls, he is still somewhat gentlemanly. After all, she had seen clearly before that when Wang Lu crushed Lei Jian, he didn't even say comfort. Thinking of this, Mirong Xue felt somewhat complacent. At the same time, I think Wang Lu's character is quite cute. The top 3 in the competition, Wang Lu, Mirong Xue and Ma Teng each received a pet egg. Wang Lu concentrated slightly and swept towards the pet egg in his hand. Dratini, Pokémon egg form. Attribute Dragon. Grade. Qualification. Skill. Dratini's Pokémon egg. Wang Lu couldn't help being surprised. The first thought in my mind was, it's impossible, the academy must have made a mistake. It's just the first place in the freshman competition. It's not about bringing glory to the college. How could there be such a big reward? In a trance, Wang Lu thought of a person and something. Mirong Bai. For a moment, Wang Lu has it all figured out. This Dratini's pet egg should be the present that Mirong Bai gave to his sister as the number 1 freshman. Mirong Bai was too confident in his sister's strength. He did not investigate the situation of other contestants at all, so he contacted the school privately and replaced the prize originally prepared by the school for the first place with Dratini's pet egg. The prize originally prepared by the school for the first place was actually a Chimchar Pokémon egg. At that time, Mirong Bai brought Chimchar's Pokémon egg to Wang Lu and threatened Wang Lu to give up the competition. As a result, I was beaten by Wang Lu. I still don't know where I am overseas. Mirong Xue, this is for you. Wang Lu didn't think twice and threw Dratini's Pokémon egg to Mirong Xue. It's not his thing, he doesn't want it, and he doesn't bother to ask for it. It was just one of Dratini's Pokémon eggs. To him now, it was nothing at all. Let's not talk about the later copies, let's just talk about Dragon Nest. Although there is no Dratini in it, there are not too many Bagon and Diano who are also quasi-god cubs. If Wang Lu wants to change money, he can grab it at any time. There is really no need to take other people's things. Chapter 75. Your brother was exiled overseas by me. You are. Mirong Shui frowned and looked at Wang Lu, wondering what Wang Lu meant. Wang Lu smiled lightly and said, "This is Dratini's pet egg, your brother prepared it for you present." Mirong Shui was startled, "My brother? My brother is back." She hadn't seen her brother for several years, and she had almost forgotten what her brother looked like. Unexpectedly, her brother would be back. Moreover, he also brought her the coveted Pokémon egg of Dratini. She suddenly felt that her inconspicuous elder brother still cared about her, so she couldn't help but asked with concern, "What about my brother?" Wang Lu said calmly, "I have been exiled overseas." There was no apology or embarrassment in Wang Lu's words. After all, regarding this matter, Tian Lu never felt that he had done anything wrong. It was Mirong Bai who taunted and threatened him first, so it was normal for him to teach him a lesson. Otherwise, wouldn't it mean that cats and dogs could urinate on their head? Heard the words. Mirong Shui was startled again, and couldn't help but take a deep look at Wang Lu, her fair and pretty face full of shock. As the younger sister, she knew the strength of her eldest brother Mirong Bai. At least since childhood, she has never defeated her eldest brother Mirong Bai, even once. Right. Never won once. She never expected that Wang Lu could defeat her eldest brother and even exile him overseas. What a terrifying strength this was. It turns out that Flash Salamence is far from his trump card. How terrifying is his strength? The thought of this. Mirong Shui even felt a little helpless in her heart. No doubt. She is Stephanie who has a strong desire to win. She has always wanted to defeat her eldest brother Mirong Bai, and she has always wanted to defeat her father Mirong Hai. Of course, even if she always loses to her elder brother or her father, she is rarely depressed. After all, this age and this generation are there. She is 5 years younger than Mirong Bai. But what about Wang Lu? He is obviously about the same age as her, at most half a year older, but his strength is completely different. Facing a man as powerful as Wang Lu, she no longer had any arrogance and could only plead, "Classmate Wang Lu, can you please save my elder brother?" Wang Lu shook his head, "Sorry, I only know that he is overseas, but I don't know where he is specifically." What Wang Lu said is true. The location of the last Celebi teleport was completely random. It has been so long now that Celebi may not still remember it. And even if you remember, Rong Bai is probably no longer there. After all, Mirong Bai has a powerful Dragonite that can fly into the sky and into the sea and is omnipotent. It is only a matter of time before he finds his way home. Wang Lu thought like this and comforted him, "Don't worry, it'll be fine. He won't die anyway, he'll just be lost for a few days at most." Mirong Shui. When the award ceremony ended, the sky had darkened. So, Wang Lu's family invited Zhao Hongii, Cao Lai, and Mirong Shui to have dinner together. Originally, Mirong Shui didn't want to go. After all, she was just a defeated subordinate of Wang Lu, and her face was dull. But somehow, he was still brainwashed by Wang Ma Tianhui, and was fooled inexplicably. "Wang Lu, what are your plans next?" At the dinner table, Zhao Hongii couldn't help but ask. Intuition told her that Wang Lu would never stay in Xian Yuan Academy for too long. After all, in her opinion, Wang Lu's strength is too strong. "Even if I stay in the academy, I can't learn anything at all." Not to mention Wang Lu, even she herself rarely goes to the academy. The first is because, as the gym trainer of the Immortal Fire Gym, she has her own work to do. The second is that she really felt that there was nothing she could learn by staying in the academy. Theoretical knowledge. She already understood what she should understand. The rest is actual combat, non-stop fighting. She even wanted to quit her job as a gym trainer, go out for a trip, and challenge various gyms. Without even thinking about it, Wang Lu said, "I want to go out for a walk, challenge the gymnasium, and challenge the owner of the gymnasium." For Wang Lu, there is no difficulty at all to challenge the gym trainer. So, he wants to directly challenge the owner and get the owner badge. The 6th dungeon of the system has been opened, named Flame Mountain, and the condition for challenging Flame Mountain is that you must have at least one owner badge. so it is imperative for him to challenge the host. Originally, the first target Wang Lu chose was actually Zhao Hongai's master, the owner of the Immortal Fire Gym. It's a pity that is a retired old elite, a wild crane in the clouds, who usually sees the head and sees the dragon. According to Zhao Hongai, her master has not come back for several months. Wang Lu had no choice but to give up, and could only go to the outer city to challenge other gyms and other gym owners. Student Wang Lu, if you want to challenge the gym, the first stop, I suggest you go to Lingyun City. Mirong Shui said suddenly. Wang Lu was taken aback and asked, why? Zhao Hongai and Cao Lai couldn't help looking at Mirong Shui. Mirong Shui said with a smile, because Lingyun Secret Realm in Lingyun City will be opened in a week. Wang Lu, when you go to challenge the gym, you can also go to Lingyun Secret Realm to explore mystery. As said before, in this world, there are many secret places and ruins. And every secret realm or ruins existed and was preserved in ancient times. In each secret realm, there are a large number of wild Pokémon. There are even legends that the Pokémon in the present world originally came out of various secret realms and have multiplied to this day. Regardless of whether the legend is true or not. Let's just talk about the secret realm. The major secret realms are closed all year round under contest condition, and they will only be opened every once in a while. Because compared with the real environment, the environment in the major secret realms is more suitable for the survival of wild Pokémon. Therefore, the wild Pokémon in the secret realm retain the most 4.4 natural wildness. While they are powerful, they will also actively attack humans. If the secret realm is open all year round, there is no guarantee that some wild Pokémon will come out of the secret realm and attack humans. Or cause traffic jams in the city. These are very bad things. Because of this, the major secret realms are closed all year round and only open occasionally. However, any secret realm, every time it is opened, will attract a large number of trainers to explore. After all, the environment in the secret realm is really suitable for wild Pokémon to survive, which leads to the fact that the wild Pokémon in the secret realm are very strong at every turn. And if you are lucky, you can also meet the powerful totem Pokémon. Like Flash, totem Pokémon are also gifted. For the majority of Pokémon trainers, the above is undoubtedly a huge captivate, and they will naturally flock to it.